our discussion on leadership to continue what we previously discussed last week. So, as a refresher, anyone please kindly read the screen. Sige, Jane, go. Jane, sige, go.
Leadership, a position as a leader of a group, organization, etc. The time when a person holds the position of leader, the power or ability to lead other peoples.
Okay, yun nga, di ba? Leader, yung leadership is requires there should be a leader, someone who lead, who's on the forefront, who will make the difficult decision and hard decisions for a particular task or activity, di ba? With others just following them on the wing. So it's also influencing the people around you to support or join you in a common goal, common cause that you have to accomplish. Can you continue? Abby?
Leadership, either a process and a property, wherein it is the use of non-coercive influence to direct and coordinate the activities of group members to meet a goal, or is the set of characteristics attributed to those who are perceived to use such influence successfully.
Okay. So, class yun nga, non-coercive. You're not a manager, you're not a boss if you're using non-coercive. Sabihin, nako-convince mo, na-i-involve mo, naging participative sila, na-motivate mo sila para to do certain tasks, to support your leadership, diba? To achieve the goal. Diba? Hindi ka namimwersa, hindi mo tinatakot, walang punitive effect. It's rather on their own voluntary action that they said na ikaw ang leader, susunod kami sa'yo. Diba? Yun ang leader. Pero may iba ang manager, class. Not all managers have leadership skills. So magkaiba yan. You can be the boss, but you're not a leader. But a leader can be a boss. Yeah, influence a group towards achievement of vision or set of goals. Okay, so in contrast between managers and leaders, or leadership and management, kindly read. Nag-volunteer kanina. Erwin.
Leadership versus management. Leadership is necessary to create and direct change and to help the organization get through tough times. We need leaders today to challenge the status. Ano yun, sir? Status quo, create visions of the future, and inspire organizational members to want to achieve the visions.
Okay, so yun nga, ang leadership versus management nga. Sa leadership, yung goals are achieved not because pinipilit mong gawin. And even though impossible na yung gawain, dahil sa leadership mo, na-achieve nyo together. Diba? Hindi mo lang basta dinedelegate. You are also one with your team. So, meron kang purpose, meron kang nakikitang goal, vision, to which your members believe na kaisa mo sila. Diba? Kaya sila sinisipag dahil naniniwala sila sa pinaglalaban mo, sa gusto mong i-achieve. So let's say gusto kong magkaroon, let's say businessman ako. Ang mission ko sa buhay sa aking kumpanya is mabigyan ng ensure that everybody has an access to affordable laptops sa lahat ng Pilipino. na pwede niyang pwede siyang pwedeng mag-assemble kasi desktop lang ang na-assemble lately, di ba? So, ngayon, i-empower mo. Gusto ko mamili sila ng pyesa and then it's easy to assemble through us. Di ba? Sasabihin mo sa kumpanya, yun ang purpose nyo. So, mangyayari nun is, are you doing it dahil gusto mong kumita or valid yung goal mo, yung mission mo? It's not just about the money. So, you get to be joined by computer engineers and mga technicians and yung mga workers mo na naniniwala doon sa alikain mo yun. So you get may mga magagaling na would volunteer for that, would join you for that. And then they'll join you in the creation of that company. Diba? As compared dun sa iba na, ambawa, Asus ako. Negosyo lang to. So, yung management doon is just managing a business and the employees are just there because they need the money. They need the salary. Pero yung yung kanilang personal conviction, wala doon. Pag sinabing 5 o'clock, uwi na yan. Diba? Hindi yung ginagawa na balak ko na affordable laptops para sa lahat ng mga Pilipino, mga estudyante. They put pride in what they do. They would go for overtime for that. And then meron ka pang corporate social responsibility. For every purchase, 30% of the income goes to the fund para bigyan mo yung mga hindi kayang bumili. So they will really put their work on it. Diba? They'll put their heart on it. Management, sino yung kanina nagtaas? Carmelito, sige.
Management is necessary to achieve coordination and systematic results and to handle administrative activities during times of stability and predictability. We also need managers to formulate detailed plans, create efficient organizational structures, and oversee day-to-day operations.
Okay, class. Ang pinagkaibangan, let's say, parehas, computer company. So, ang purpose niya is kumita. Yun ang objective ko. So, I'm going to manage everyone na, ito ang ating target output. Ito ang competition. Tatalunin natin sila. Kung kailangan i-buy out, patayin natin ang competition. Ito ang prices natin. Namimigay sila ng libreng laptop, murang laptop, patayin natin yung murang laptop na yon. Tapos kapag namatay na yung kumpanya na yon, itataas natin ulit yung presyo. And then, di ba, routines. Ito ang kailangan gawing output. Ito ang number of work related. Ito ang ating quality assurance protocols na kailangan sundin ninyo. Di ba? May ganon, may structure. It's all by the numbers yung trabaho. Hindi siya, kumbaga pumapasok ka lang talaga just to do your job and earn money. So minamanage ka lang ng boss mo. Nasaan na attendance mo? Bakit ka absent? Bakit ganyan? O kasi problema mo yan. Dapat ikaw naghanap ka ng transportation mo, lumipat ka, mag-relocate ka. O, marami ka pa hinihingi, sige, you're fired. As to the leadership na, okay, in view of the COVID-19, I think, ipapatrabaho namin kayo sa bahay, work from home. Wala kayong internet, issuean namin kayo ng Wi-Fi na prepaid under the account of the company. Bibigyan namin kayo ng prepaid load for that na monthly ibibigay para magawa niyo yung trabaho niyo sa bahay. Diba? Compared doon sa isa na minamanage lang, basta may internet ka sa bahay, magtrabaho ka, okay, pag naputulan ka, dahil may technical problems, problema mo yun, pag-load ka sa cellphone mo, sa kukunin yung pambayad, problema mo na rin yun. Diba? So, magkaiba yung leadership and the management. Can you read this line by line? Sunod-sunod kayo. Boas, Sige. Bienvenido, Boas, Christine, Jewel, and Christine Marie.
Ako pa muna, sir, no? Dinig po ako. Hello po.
Okay, go ahead.
Kotler's distinctions between management and leadership. Um, Creating an agenda, planning and budgeting, establishing detailed steps and timetables for achieving needed results, allocating the resources necessary to make those needed results happen, and establishing direction, developing a vision of the future, often in the distant future, and strategies for producing the changes needed to achieve that vision.
Next. Yung tinawag kong iba. Sino yung isa pa? Ervil, ikaw yata tinawag ko, sunod sila, Christine. Oh, nawala. Sige, sila Christine ang sumunod. Yung dalawang Christine.
Sir, ako po muna. Developing a human network for achieving the agenda. Organizing and staffing. Establishing some structure for accomplishing plan requirements. Staffing that structure with individuals. Delegating responsibility and authority for carrying out the plan. Providing policies and procedures to help guide people. Creating methods or systems to monitor implementation. Aligning people, communicating the direction by words and deeds to all those whose cooperation may be needed to influence the creation of teams and coalitions that understand the vision and strategies and accept their validity.
Executing plan, controlling and problem solving, monitoring results versus plan in some detail.
Christine, malayo yung mic.
Answer, dinig po,
Mahina. Lapit mo ng konti.
wait lang sir. Ayan po,
Sige, proceed na lang.
controlling and problem solving, monitoring results versus plan in some detail, identifying deviation and then planning and organizing to solve these problems, motivating and inspiring, energizing people to overcome major political, bureaucratic, and resource barriers to change by satisfying very basic but often unfulfilled human needs.
Okay, Avel, can you continue? Avel? Hindi available. Sige, Atea?
Sa executing plans na po tayo, sir, di ba?
Outcomes.
Outcomes po. Produces a degree of predictability and order and has the potential to consistently produce major results expected by various stakeholders, like for customers always being on time, for stockholders being on budget. Leadership produces change often to a dramatic degree and has the potential to produce extremely useful change, like new products that customers want, new approaches to labor relations that help make a firm for more competitive.
Okay, thank you for that. So, class, in leadership, diba, ini-establish mo yung direction. So, may overall plan ka, may nakikita kang purpose, may meaning, may relevance. You're not just, let's say, real estate development company ka. Ang purpose mo lang is mag-invest para kumita sa kumpanya, ganun ba? Sa pagde-develop ng bahay? No. Pwede mong sabihin in terms of leadership na ang direction is to contribute sa human settlements na issue sa Pilipinas, na ma-alleviate mo yung lack of proper housing facilities through affordable housing. So, ang mission mo is to provide housing sa lahat ng Pilipino, regardless of their financial status, para naman you build a better home and better Philippines, blah, 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 blah. Arte. So, yun yung leadership mo. As for management is planning and budgeting. Ang isipin mo naman is, kaya mo tinatayo tong kumpanya na to ng real estate development is you want to capitalize on the property boom, on the uptrend cycle of the property, na ma-establish ka, matalo mo yung competition, kumita kayo, blah, blah, blah. Diba? Number one real estate developer in the Philippines. Magkaiba. Diba? So you do some planning and budgeting towards the organizational and organizational structure of your company and business, and strategic na atake on how to establish the company, di ba, sa industry ng property, versus dun sa leadership na yung establishing mo na direction is secondary yung pagiging number one mo, dahil ang primary vision mo talaga is gusto kong makatulong sa housing problem. Next is yung sa development nga of human network. So, if you're sa leadership ka, you're aligning the people. So, saan ka ba magaling? Saan ka ba beneficial? Saan ba magiging synergistic ang ating ang resources ng company at ng yung skills? Saan ba tayo magpo-flourish together? Ano bang kaya mong gawin na pwede nating i-maximize at the same time mag-grow ka? Pero kung management ka, organizing and staffing, I need a manager, I need an appraiser, kailangan ko 10, ganyan. Regardless saan ng expertise mo, diyan ka lang. Yung isa licensed broker din, aside from appraiser, pwede sana sa broker division. Hindi, diyan ka lang. Actually, kailangan ko appraiser, diyan ka lang. Hindi mo hinahayaang ma-align, mag-grow further, diyan ka lang, sabi mo. Appraisal lang gagawin mo. Samantala kung pinayagan mo lumipat ng kabilang division as a broker, mapopromote siya dahil mas taas na posisyon yung ina-applyan niya doon. Let's say, senior broker, ang dating. Diba? Kasi kakapasa lang niya, license niya. Or nasa research siya. Hindi, kinonfine mo siya doon kasi you are organizing and staffing. You are managing the people. You are managing the staff. So, kailangan yung functionality doon na tinitingnan mo na hindi mawalan ng tao. Na parang factory. Pagawaan ng sardinas, hindi dapat mawawala ng isang tao nakapwesto doon. Samantalang pwede na pala maging supervisor siya. Diba? You're just managing. You're not aligning. Diba? You're not inspiring them to become you or higher than you. Ang tingin mo sa kanila is yung nga, obrero, ang tingin mo sa kanila is piyesa lang ng makina na pwedeng palitan. Pumapalag ka, gusto mong ma-promote. O sige, madali kang palitan, you're fired. Mas mura na empleyado kukunin ko. Mas bago. Mas mura pa yun. Walang experience. So, nandun lang ang focus mo. I'm not saying totally, pero kasi para in essence, yun ang dating yun. When the brunt comes to worse, di ba? No one is indispensable sa kumpanya. Anytime, kahit na anong galing mo, kahit na anong value, nagpapa-importante ka, sasabihin ng management sa'yo is madali kang palitan at matututunan niya ng ibang tao. As where to the leadership, okay, we've seen your skill sets, your changes in your development, di ba? Na I think you're ready for a different, for a higher role, di ba? Instead of, sige, you're fired. Kung ikaw naman ay non-performing, sasabihin naman nila, sige, training natin. Anong problema mo? Diba? So, doon papasok yung motivating and inspiring. Kulang ka sa skill sets, kulang ka ng capacity. We have a capacity building division. Enroll ka namin doon. Para lalo kang gumaling, and then when you go back to your original station, you'll be better. Diba? As for management, controlling, 'di ba, and problem solving, mahina siya. Palpak siya doon. Simple lang 'yan. Tanggalin mo, kuha ka ng marunong na. Magsasayang pa tayo diyan ng oras, gagastos pa tayo. Kumuha ka ng mas marunong. Tanggalin yan. Sasantihin mo yan. Sa team nyo, sa project nyo. Diba? Pwedeng sabihin nyo, wag na sa team. Sa inyo, dito sa klase. May problema kayo sa speaking and writing skills nyo. Diba? Na magiging detrimental yan sa inyo pag hindi nyo in-improve pagdating ng nag-license na kayo. So, what I do, I give you constant assignments na in essay, and then remind you kung saan kayo nagkamali, ano yung dapat i-expound nyo pa. Here are the resources ng references na pwedeng silipin. Here are the do-it-yourself guides on how to do a paper, diba? YouTube or sample papers to motivate you and inspire you. Diba? Pero kung controlling and problem solving lang yan, mahina talaga to. 45 over 100. Balik. Sir, ano mong problema na? Dapat inaral mo na yan, no? High school ka. That's not my problem. It's your problem. That's what my professor once told me. Sinabihan niya ako ng gano'n. Nung humingi ako ng certification na ang BS Commerce major in Computer Application and Information Science is tantamount to ComSci or ComEng or Information System Management. Sinabihan niya ako ng gano'n. That's your problem, not my problem. So, hindi ako natanggap sa Philippine National Police Computer Service. So, kung natanggap ako, sana, police ako. And baka lieutenant colonel na ako by this time sa IT ng PNP. So, hindi siya tinitingnan, yung professor ko na yon, yung chairperson ng course namin ng San Beda, hindi ko siya tinitingnan as a leader. Kasi, he failed me. Diba? Hindi niya ako na-motivate, hindi niya ako na-inspire. Na-inspire niya ako in a way na nagalit ako. That's why I try to improve myself better. Diba? Kasi sabi ko, balang araw, parang ganon, nasa utak ko noon dati. Outcomes. So, ang outcome sa leadership is holistic. It's not the outcome lang basta, may nagawa kayong project or activity or result, yun na yun. It's the whole experience. How you created that output, anong halaga nun sa'yo, yung binuhos mong pagod, diba? Yung emotions mo na ilagay doon, and then how did it change you? You become a better person, better team member, better employee. Pero sa management, ano lang to clockwork lang. This is a expected output. Bayad to. Sinesweldo ka para gawin yan. Yun ang sasabihin sa'yo. Team member ka. Expected na natin dapat gawin ito. Otherwise, hindi ka namin lalagay sa list ng member para bagsak ka rin sa grades. So, magkaiba. A leader can be a manager, but not all managers can be a leader. Okay, curious na tayo. Mahaba to. Get ready for the long haul. Volunteer, please. Sige, Abel. Sunod si Mark Kenneth and Ramiro.
Leadership theories. McGregor's theories. In Theory X, they distrust people and believe in close supervision and tight control over the subordinates. In Theory Y, they are participative, trust subordinates, and involve them in decision making.
Okay, so class, sa opisina ganyan. Nangyayari yan. Theory X pa rin yung iba. Walang tiwala. Hindi nga sa ibibigay yung trabaho sa mga paborito nila ibinibigay. And ima-micromanage ka na maya sabihin sa'yo, ganito gawin mo, ganyan-ganyan, o hindi ka sumagot sa email ng buong araw, akala hindi mo na ginagawa. May na-micromanage ka kasi. Walang tiwala sa'yo. Diba? Pero kung chiruway na, kung matagal-tagal ka na, medyo naamoy ka na, excluding biases kasi minsan kahit matagal ka na, may bias talaga. So, alam nila na you'll do it on your own, and then they'll acknowledge even your input sa decision making. Diba? Hindi yung sasabihin ka, huwag kang sasagot, hindi ka involved dito. Hindi ganon. Hindi ka, akin lang to. Huwag mong pangunahan. Huwag ka magsasuggest. Gawin mo yung trabaho mo. Sasabihan ka ng ganon, diba? Sa Chiro Y, hindi. Wini-welcome niya yung mga suggestions and inputs and outputs. So, hindi sarado utak niya. Ito yung, kaya nga, si Chiro Y, si Chiro X, Theory X is okay boomer. Theory Y is okay boomer na nagbago, na open ang utak, or si Gen X. Diba? Na, okay, cool. Sige nga, subukan natin yung sinasabi mo. So, sa inyo, dito sa klase nyo, diba? Ginagamit to, Chiro X, Chiro Y. Bakit? Initially, yun nga, di ba, nagkaroon tayo ng issue last time. So, ang hirap pagtiwala. So, ma-micromanage talaga kayo. Pero yung mga upper years nyo, mga seniors nyo, naka-theory Y na. Bakit? Kasi, may tiwala na, napatunayan na yung sarili nila, yung honesty nila. Although, nandun pa rin yung chances, pero minimal na. Diba? So, yan yung traditional approach by McGregor's theory. Next, yung tinawag ko kanina. Tandaan nyo sa class pagka tinatawag ko yung sunod-sunod na pangalan.
The Blake Moulton Managerial Grid, People-Oriented Style. Focus on organizing, supporting, and developing your team members. Task-oriented leadership. Lastly, focus on getting the job done.
Okay, for people-oriented, di ba, you support human development, human resource development, di ba, HRD. So, inaano mo yung team mo na they become efficient and competent, effective sa ginagawa nila. Diba? Sa task-oriented naman is, basta ito trabaho, gawin mo. Diba? Kailangan mo bang i-memorize yan? Alam mo na dapat yan. Diba? Ngayon, kung hindi mo alam, makapalitan kita. Diba? Di mo pala kayang gawin yung trabaho eh. Yung sasabi lang, I don't care how you do it, but just get it done. Next, path goal. Sumunod si ano? Yung tinawag ko.
Path goal theory. Leader's job is to use structure, support, and reward to create a work environment that helps employees reach their organizational goal. Identify the best leadership approach to use based on the people's needs, the task that they're doing, and the environment that they're working in.
So, nilay out yung path, di ba, towards the goal. Kaya nga path goal theory. So, you are rewarded for a job well done. And then, yung kanyang approaches sa leadership is flexible depending on the character of your manpower or your team member and ano ba yung nature of the task. Tapos, ano ba yung setup natin? Ano ba yung itsura ng kumpanya, setup ng kumpanya? Paano ba ang protocols dito? Or sa school? Or sa group nyo? Sa project? O work from home tayo? Or physical tayo? So, involved yun. Tinitignan mo yun. So that, makonsolidate mo lahat towards the goal. Kung paano ma-achieve. Next, volunteer. Sige, Rof. Then followed by Jenny for the next slide.
Flamholtz and Randall's leadership style matrix. Best style to use based on how capable people are of working autonomously and how creative or programmable the task is. Matrix is divided into 4 quadrants. Each quadrant identifies 2 possible styles that will be effective for a given situation, ranging from autocratic, benevolent, autocratic to consensus, laissez-faire, servant leadership, and transactional leadership working in.
Okay, thank you for that. So, class, ito, yung theory nila Flamholtz and Randall, di ba? Yung routine to eh. Pinoprogram yung team members ng leader, di ba? Kung how things are approached, how tasks are done. So, iba-iba ang atake niya. Pwede kang maging yung, yun nga, yung autocratic, yung very, di ba? Strict ka, very authoritative ka, di ba? Very regal. talagang ako ang masusunod, di ba? Two, yung participative, di ba? Yung consensus o yun nga, open laissez-faire, di ba? Everybody can pitch in, di ba? Everybody can give you an input and then servant leadership. So you are not self-centered, but you also provide support and assistance to your team members, di ba? And transactional. So yung transactional naman is yung, later on we'll discuss that. Transactional is yung, you have to give me something so that I can give you something back. Diba? So, kaya sinabing one of the best kasi nga, they're using all these four quadrants depending on the task at hand. Kasi kung routinary naman yan kung paggawa lang ng opinion, legal opinion, routinary na yan, hindi na kailangan dyan ng ang applicable dyan is transactional leadership. Di ba? Ito yung iyong workload. May number of days lang yan under ARTA or yung Anti-Red Tape Act na 15 days. So alam mo na, you know the drill. Sabihin sa'yo, SOP. So yung ganun yun. Kaya depende sa task na programmable task naman na. Then, sino yung sumunod? Binanggit ko.
Ako po. Trait, it focuses on individual characteristics of successful leaders who possess a set of traits which make them distinct from followers.
Karugtong pa yan, teka. Yan, so, paki-continue.
Approaches to leadership trait include emotional intelligence, drive, motivation, honesty and integrity, self-confidence, cognitive ability, knowledge of the business, and charisma.
Teka. So, yung trait in general, ang sinasabi dyan is may common denominator lahat ng leaders historically in their studies. Yung kanilang emotional intelligence, yung drive. So, emotional intelligence, they have their ways to approach people, di ba? Or even, pag nito, kahit yung kanilang competition, kaya nilang i-manipulate or have an edge against them because of their emotional intelligence. Kaya nila, di ba? Na gamitan ng kanilang mga careful thinking as to how to invoke, di ba, yung kanilang behavior ng kalaban nila. And then, yung drive, may purpose sila sa buhay, di ba? Na gusto ko talagang maging number one, gusto ko talagang manalo kami sa gera, di ba? Galit ako sa lahat ng ipis, uubusin ko lahat ng kalaban ng ipis, di ba? May ganon. Motivation, in relation to drive din yan. So motivation niya, may pinanghuhugutan siya, di ba? Bata pala siya, lagi siyang kinukulit ng ipis, takot siya, di ba? Si Batman, di ba? Gusto niya to inflict fear on those who preyed on the fearful. Diba? Dahil isa rin siya doon dati. So, may motivation siya. Honesty and integrity. So, this is selective, kasi nga, depende kung kanino ka maging honest and show integrity. If within your ranks, within your group, oo. Pero kung sa kalaban, syempre, hindi mo sasabihin lahat ng plano mo sa kanya. Pero, in essence, there is an honest, pag sinabi natin, peace talks tayo. Diba? May trust tayo sa corporate war natin, may trust tayo. Diba? Pag sinabi mong, sige, bibiling ko yung kumpanya mong palugi, ng gaytong halaga, hindi yung o-onsihin kita. Kasi palibasa, dati kitang kalaban. Self-confidence. They're oozing with self-confidence kasi naniniwala sila sa sarili at what they can do. That is why we look up to them, to these leaders. Kasi tayo, we lack that. Sabihin natin tayo, kulang tayo sa confidence. Pero pag nakikita mo yan, yung tao na yan, siya yung leader mo, napapasunod ka. Kasi na-identify mo yung sarili mo sa kanya na idol mo siya. Sana ganun tulad ako sa kanya. So, kung ano man ang gawin yung task, ano man ang direction na gusto yung gawin, susunod ka. Pag sinabing tumalon ka. Diba? Kasi naniniwala ka, sasaluhin niya kahit na hindi naman totoo. Diba? Cognitive ability. Siyempre, matindi ang mental processing niya. Kumbaga sa chess, hindi lang 1 step, 2 steps. Hanggang 15. Diba? Checkmate, naisip na niya kung paano. Diba? Kasi nga, how can you lead? How can you see your goals through kung ikaw mismo mahina din ang cognitive ability mo, ang mental prowess mo mahina, di ba? Knowledge of the business or whatever industry you are or the task at hand, di ba? So familiar ka doon. Diba? Kaya nga 'di ba sinasabi, bakit naman yung pinagpamuno nyo sa PhilHealth wala namang alam sa health? Hindi naman doktor, walang background. 'Di ba? Bakit former army serviceman? Well, in the government we have what call na trust and confidence. Pero kung magiging objectively speaking tayo sa trait, 'di ba, ng leadership, ano ang kanyang competency for that? Even civil service have a competency standards for accepting new government employees. Lastly, charisma. May dating, 'di ba? Na kumbaga napapakilig kayo, tinataas ang kayo ng balahibo pag sinabi niyang we will not cease into the night, we will fight, 'di ba? Sabi sa Independence Day na pelikula. Susunod ka, ikaw mismo na-activate yung emotions mo na willing kang i-sacrifice yung airplane mo papunta doon sa spaceship ng alien. Handa kang mamatay. Kasi nadala ka doon sa charisma. Naniwala ka. Likewise, yan na nangyari kay Hitler. Nadala niya yung mga Germans. Kasi for such time, plus, yung ibang Germans, yung mga Nazis, nakaranas sila sobrang pang-api even during the World War I, diba? And then yung nawawala na sila ng hanap buhay, trabaho kasi dumating yung mga migrants, the Jews. So kaya sabing tama, pero sabihin nung lumitaw si Hitler with this charisma and ability to speak to people because of his emotional intelligence, motivation and drive, and may honesty, integrity dahil talagang gusto niya, we will rise again. The Aryan race will rise again. Hindi tayo aapak-apakan. Sabi niya, maibabalik na ang trabaho sa inyo. Hindi na kukunin ng mga foreigners ang trabaho nyo. Mapapakain nyo na ang pamilya nyo. So, with all the confidence, di ba? At matalino si Hitler. Plus, hindi naman yan bobo. And artist din yan, ha? So, pagsamahin mo yon, tapos may charisma ka, napasunod yung mga tao. Parang nabudol-budol. They harbored hate among their countrymen na hindi tulad nila, na-Jew pala. So, until sa other nations. So, yun ang application. But it is leadership. Mali lang ang application. And all those meron si Hitler. Mali lang ang perspective. Mali lang ang direction. So, sa trait, under niyan, may sub pa yan, yung trait. So, can you read that, Angelica?
Great. The big 5 factors. Extroversion seizes comfort level with relationships. Extroverts tend to be gregarious, assertive, and sociable.
For you guys na nakapanood na ng Hitler, Rise of Evil, tapos yung there are Untergang, or yung dalawang magagandang Hitler movies, biopic niya. Pag pinanood nyo, kakabahan din kayo, tataasan din yung balahibo. Kasi the way he spoke, although dramatized na yun, di ba? Pero based on the record, annals, di ba? The way he expressed himself, the way he carried himself, and yung kanyang social issues na gustong address sa paghihirap ng mga Germans at that time at the hands of the migrants na Jews, madadala ka talaga. Extraversion talagang gregarious, very explicit, wide action talaga, manginginig talaga, just to express themselves. A close example of that is the way Ninoy was speaking to us nung sa Senate, Congress, and even doon sa US, Boston. He was one of that, diba? The way he carried himself. So, given a wrong situation, pwedeng may tendency din si Ninoy maging gano'n, di ba? Given si Hitler, mailagay sa sitwasyon ni Ninoy, may tendency din si Hitler na naging mabait. Ang problema nga lang is yung thin line. You have to ensure na hindi ka magko-cross over to the dark side, di ba? Kasi very powerful class if you had that ability to talk and be assertive, sociable, express yourself, you can lead talaga an army of people. And that's what's lacking right now in a good perspective. Yun ang wala sa atin. We can fight corruption anytime. Overnight, mawawala yun. If we have that kind of leadership na ramdam mo talaga the way they speak at ginagawa yung sinasabing gagawin. Diba? Na alam mo yung pinagsasabi niya ay totoo at galing sa kanyang puso at alam niya dahil pinagdaanan niya. Diba? Then, next, agreeableness. Sino yung nagtaas kanina? Christine Joy ba yun?
Agreeableness. An individual's propensity to defer to others. Highly agreeable people are cooperative, warm, and trusting.
Okay, so apart from yung extraversion mo, may agreeableness ka. That is what Hitler lacked at that time, diba? Ito, gustong gawin, patayin ko sila lahat, ako masusunod. For those who don't know, there were numerous attempts by German soldiers themselves and officers to assassinate Hitler. Bago pa siya sumobrang, powerful na siya noon, pero sabihin, bago pa nangyari yung Holocaust, yung pinakapatay yung mga Jews. There were attempts, numerous attempts. One of which, yung pinatry ni Tom Cruise sa pelikula, yung sa Project Valkyrie. Diba? So, siya mismo nakita na no character ni Tom Cruise na parang lost cause na yung nangyayari, namamatay yung mga German soldiers for the sake of a misaligned perspective and morals. At siya mismo naputulan ng kamay. Diba? So, as a leader, you should be, apart from being yung extroversion mo, agreeableness. Right now, what can you say? There is some kind of extroversion, some point in our current political leadership in the highest office. But would you agree if there's agreeableness sa kanyang trait? Any comment? Do you agree? Would you agree or would you like to comment kung may agreeableness sa current trait of the powerful person in the Philippines? Class, react. Maubusan tayo oras. Anyone? Walang DDS dito. Huwag kayong mag-alala. You can speak your mind. Wala rin dilawan dito.
I think, sir, hindi. Wala po. Kasi po, unang-una, lumalaban rin po mismo yung media sa kanya. Ang trabaho po ng media is mag-deliver po ng news. The fact na nagkakaroon po ng hidwaan o ng misunderstanding sa dalawa ay nawawalan po ng agreeableness between the president and the people.
Anyone would like to supplement or contradict? Anyone else? Go, Christine.
For me po, parang wala din kasi based po sa sinabi ni Abel, yung incompetence po and yung negligence po ng mga authority ngayon, lalo na po yung president, is hindi po nagkakaroon ng agreement between both parties ng president and the people of the Philippines. Kasi nga po, ayun din sa mga hindi niya nagawa for its country. So, kaya maraming nagiging activist, maraming criticisms about him kasi hindi niya nagagawa yung part niya.
Okay. So class, diba, remember the time that oral medical practitioners asked for arrest, meaning i-extend ulit ang ECQ para makapagpahinga naman sila at makarecover dahil hindi na sila makahinga sa sobrang dami ng pasyente. Well, it was given consideration, but before doing that, di ba, tinreten pa kung ano pa pang sinasabi, inaaway pa, di ba? So, walang agreeableness on that. At least to our opinion, we're subject to ano to further enlightenment by others. Pero at least at our initial perspective, as a trait of a leader, walang agreeableness on that kasi ayaw makinig. Diba? As a suggestion. Bawal mag-suggest. Ako lang. Diba? Ganun lang siya mag-isip. Conscientiousness. Volunteer. Ryan.
Conscientiousness pertains to a measure of reliability. A highly conscientious person is responsible, organized, dependable, and persistent.
Okay. Class, nangyari na yan sa akin sa mismong bureau when I became an OIC chief of MIS for Management Information System Service for a short period of time. So there was an event na i-host sa Bureau of Treasury Office dyan sa Ayuntamiento. So I was responsible, organized, dependable, and persistent. Pero nagka-problema pa rin sa reliability. Why? Class, prior to the event, di ba, yung project management ko nun, project planning ko nun, lahat ng dapat na pre-planning done. Lahat ng coordination done. Outsourcing done. Yung program, yung the how the tables are going to be laid out, yung financial requirements and documents needed, as well as yung kung sino yung mga ushers, yung flow, everything was ready except for the actual show, diba? The actual activity kung saan middle of the night talagang hindi na kinaya ng katawan ko, nanginig na ako sa trangkaso. So I had to tell my boss I couldn't report anymore, hindi ko na kaya, nanginig na ako sa lagnat, kinukumbusyon na ako. While the incoming chief, the newly hired incoming chief was there to oversee everything during actual activity. Baka madali na lang yun kasi everything was smoothly prepared na and coordinated and covered, diba? All bases covered. Management, at least to my understanding, tinandaan nila yon in a sense na para sa kanila, hindi ako reliable. Diba? Para sa kanila, hindi ako reliable. Anong magawa ko? Ang katawan ko, bigay na, hindi na kaya. Itinawid ko lang yung trangkaso ko all throughout. Pero hindi na talaga kaya, bumagsak na ako. Mamamatay naman ako. Imagine, hindi man ako si Jordan. na habang nagba-basketball nasa 39 degrees ang lagnat. Hindi man ganun ang katawan ko. Diba? So, tinandaan na yun. And I experienced some repercussions in a sense na somehow my career movement has been halted because of that impression. Hindi na tingnan na yung mas malalim. So, yung consensus, it is debatable, pero still, like kind reminder to everyone, you need to assure and protect your character or your trait of being reliable. Otherwise, first impression will last kahit na beyond your control. So, magtatanda. Ganun ang Pilipino. Toxic ang Pilipino in general. Diba? Nagmamarka sa utak. Hindi na binibigyan ng chance. Hindi pinapakinggan yung situation na nangyari. So, even sa relationships, di ba, ganyan. Na-late lang Nagkasalisihan lang. Sasabihin ni Ate Bianca, wala si Abby nung oras na yon. Buti na lang nandoon si Bienvenido. So, nangyari, naging sila ni Bienvenido. Diba? Sabi naman ni Abby, hindi mo maalam, nasaksak ako ng hold-upper. Nakabili ng bulaklak sa Dangwa. But nobody listened. Hindi, sabihin, wag pangit yan, morbid yun. Sabihin na, hindi mo ba alam na hinold up ako sa Dangwa. Hawak yung bulaklak. Diba? Hindi kinuha yung pera ko, kinuha yung bulaklak. Paborito mong bulaklak mo yun.
Tama,
turns out, si Bienvenido pala yung kumuha ng bulaklak.
Oh, no.
Diba?
Grabe ka.
So, para sa kanya, hindi ka reliable. Ito pa lang ang bulaklak birthday ko, you weren't there. Paano pa kaya sa relationship natin all throughout? Paano pag naging committed na tayo? So, kaya, importante yung reliability class. If you want to lead, you have to be reliable. Diyan papasok ang pagiging yung meron kayong thorough planning. Diba? So, kaya dapat ganyan din kayo. Huwag yung agad-agad i-break up, pakinggan niyo muna.
Tama.
So, diba dapat
Tama, sir, tama.
Sales lady lang pala ng bra, diba? Pinapakita kay Abby. Conclude ka na. Diba? Next. Dahil dyan, basahin mo yan, Abby.
Emotional stability. People who possess such usually are able to withstand stress. People with positive emotional stability tend to be calm, self-confident, and secure.
Okay. Emotional stability. Hindi pwede yung nag-rant, hindi pwedeng meltdown. Hitler had a meltdown. Diba? Sino pa mga nag-meltdown? Donald Trump had a meltdown. Diba? Sino pa nag-meltdown? Nakilala nyo locally?
Duterte po.
Okay, nagkaroon ng meltdown. So, hindi kung leader ka, bawal mag-meltdown, bawal yung biglang manginginig ka sa gilid, papanic attack, tapos iiyak ka, tapos mo, Mami. Sir, ikaw general natin, nandyan na yung Abu Sayyaf. Ba't nagmamami-mami ka dyan? Nanginginig ka. 50 years old general ka na, sir. Bawal ang meltdown. Kailangan emotionally fit, mentally fit. So, emotional stability. Diba? Hindi pwedeng ganon. You should face the consequences and the success of your actions and decisions along it with the team. Diba? Dapat kaya mong pabagali ng oras at mag-isip paano ko lulusutan to. May way pa. Hindi pwede yung halimbawa, kayo sa family, kayo nag-lead, ate ka, pumasok yung si Chucky, dalang kutsilyo, ang lit-lit lang ng dal, hirap na hirap ka. Kayong dalawa lang ng kapatid mo na kababata. Manginginig ka lang sa gilid, sabi mo, wag po kuya, maawa ka, wag po. Or, hihinga ka malalim, you display emotional stability, you think it through, dal lang ito, buhusan ko ng gas, kung merong gas, sipain ko ng table, di ba? Baliin ko yung ulo, basagan ko ng bote, di ba? Ano pa? Buhusan ko ng tubig, mainit. Nag-iisip ka. Di ba? May emotional stability ka. Usually, nangyayari pagka yung may earthquake, may sumabog, sa Glorieta, ganyan, wala na, windang na. Diba? Walang emotional stability yung iba. Hindi alam anong gagawin. Where am I? Pero kung may emotional stability ka, train ka as a leader, lalabas yung heroism. Katulad nung sa baha. May mga taong tumulong iligtas yung mga aso, tumulong iligtas yung mga kapitbahay, kababayan nila. Asway doon sa iba nanginginig na lang sa lamig tapos bakit ba nagkakaito sa buhay namin? Tulungan mo kami, presidente, o kaya galit ang Diyos sa amin. 'Di ba? Ah, wala na eh. Wala na yung utak. Dalan-dala na siya ng emotions. Umiyak na lang. So, hindi dapat ganon. If you are going to be a leader, you should have emotional stability. Kaya nga, bawal lang nagpapanik. Bawal yung nanginginig. Bawal yung tumatakbo. Yung padre de pamilya o yung ilaw ng tahanan. Kasi paano yung bata? So, yung nga siya tumitingin ng lakas ng loob eh. Pag nag-umiyak na yung magulang, iyak na rin yung bata. Sabihin wala ng pag-asa eh. Sumuko na yung parents namin eh. Suko na rin kami. Next. Sorry for that. Villarama. Sige, si Villarama, wait. Si Christine Jewel. Kanina pa nagtataas ulit to. Christine Jewel.
The big five factors: openness to experience, explores range of interest and fascination with novelty. Extremely open people are creative, curious, and artistically sensitive.
Openness to experience. Last. Pag open ka sa experience, you're open to innovation. You're open to new set of technology and information and methodologies. Hindi yung sarado utak mo. 'Di ba? How can you be a leader kung sarado utak mo? Sarili mo lang pinapakinggan mo. Ako lang. 'Di ba? Hindi pwedeng ganon. 'Di ba? Hindi pwedeng, dapat open ka, creative ka, and then so that ma-supplement yung current skill sets, my knowledge. Pag nangyaring ganon, may natutunan ako nakaraan eh. Ganito na pala dapat ang gagawin nating approach. Huwag na pala tayo mag-build ng dam sa Marikina. Ilipat na lang natin ng Marikina. Or huwag na pala tayong huwag na tayo pala mag-open ng classes during the rainy season. Nagpalit na ang rainy season. Gawin na lang summer classes na lang lahat. Diba? Kaysa yung hindi sila lahat maka-attend sa klase. Kasi may pakialam ka, open na yung, nag-ikot-ikot ka. Kaya nga class, sa mga lumang kwento, even sa mga pelikula, ang hari na nasa castle, nag-iikot sa kanyang kingdom na naka-cloak, naka-disguise, para maramdaman niya, makita niya kung ano nangyayari sa baba. Hindi lang siya umaasa sa report ng kanyang mga ministro. Diba? So, it is important that during the calamity, most of our high officials went out in the field. Yun ang halaga. Yung, hindi lang figurehead yun. Hindi lang it doesn't bring hope na nandito ang aming leader. Lumusong sa baha kahit nakabota pa yan, kahit naka-jet ski. Diba? Kahit may virus. Nandito siya kasama namin. It brings hope. Diba? And ikaw, yung experience, nakita mo mismo firsthand the devastation. So pagbalik mo sa opisina, eto kailan natin gawin. Makita ko yung nangyayari doon. Nagpapatayan parang aso at pusa yung mga tao para lang sa kapiranggot ng noodles na parang sinabawan na kaning baboy. Diba? Pero kung hindi mo nakikita yon, hindi ka nagsa-site inspection, hindi mo maramdaman kung ano nangyari. So you need to have to openness to experience. Next. Go, Thea.
Approaches to leadership, behavioral, determines how various kinds of specific behavior affect the performance and satisfaction of followers. Behavioral theories of leadership implied we could train people to be leaders. Okay na, sir.
Okay, thank you for that. So, yun nga, behavioral. So, ang sabi nila, ang leaders daw, natitrain, they are made yung behavior. Well, that is debatable kasi nga, There are leaders that really are born as a leader, and there are others naman who, by virtue of experiences, by their reaction, their behavior to circumstances and experiences, became leaders. So, pwede rin. So, yun nga ang inaano ng behavioral, ang approach sa leadership. Next, Flores. Hindi available si Flores yata. Sige, Nicole. Followed by Kiana next slide. Sige, Nicole.
Approaches to leadership contingency. Appropriate leader behavior depends on the situation at hand. Present scenarios where the decisions is either made solely by the manager or a collective idea is sourced from the subordinate.
Okay. So, class, dito, um, contingency, di ba? Contingency plan. Ano pa yung other pwede mong gawin kapag hindi nasunod? So, yun nga, contingency yung leadership mo. So, ano ba ang sitwasyon? Doon mo i-base kung paano ang leadership mo, kung paano ang handling mo of the situation. Paano mo ili-lead ang team mo. Yung decision mo is also impacted by means ng collaborative information from your subordinate. Nagbibigay sila ng input, di ba? So that you can properly react sa sitwasyon. So, ito yung mga biglaan, di ba? Paano mo i-handle ang leadership mo, ang sitwasyon. Umatake yung BFF, inatake kayo, ikaw chief of police, kasama mo at let's say dalawa lang na police, magtatago ba kayo like what was announced sa news? Or makiki-merge kayo doon sa apat na sundalong naka-outpost near the church para 7 laban sa 30 BIFF. Nangyari kasi ngayon sa balita, 4 lang ang lumaban yung sundalo. So, and then supplemented by the reinforcements. Pero kung yung police na yun nakipag-join forces, diba? Baka nahuli pa lahat yun. Bakit? By the time na dumating yung reinforcement, bawas na yung kalaban and then mara-round up. So, ano yung contingency leadership na in-exhibit doon? Yun yung problema. So, ano daw ba, may ibang characteristics to ang contingency. Mga factors involved. You have yung managerial, the members, and even the situation. Can you read this, Akiana?
Approaches to leadership. Contingency, managerial characteristics. Managers' value system, confidence in subordinates, personal inclinations, and feelings of security.
Okay. So, diba, mayroong kang kumpiyansa sa iyong mga team members or tauhan mo. Importante yon sa contingency. Kasi, ano nga diba? Spur of the moment. Wala kang confidence sa kanila, paano nyo malusutan yung sitwasyon na yon? Dapat, hindi ka threatened sa position mo as a leader. Diba? Hindi kayo may insecurity na, ay hindi kasi baka maging counterproductive. Hindi nakatulong lalong na lalong nasira dahil sa masyado kayong conscious sa sarili nyo. Diba? May mga personal inclinations na kailangang involved dyan. Kung ano ba talagang veering towards saan ba ang mga decisions mo. Diba? And then you have yung sa value system, may pinapahalagahan ka doon sa inyong sitwasyon. Diba? Hindi yung you value every input, you value every member and the output that's required. May halaga, hindi lang to trabaho, basta may saysay to. This is a very important thing to do. So, dapat may ganong perspective sa utak. Then, sa subordinates. Anyone? Teka. Vivian, then followed by Janelle. Huwag niyo muna ibaba yung kamay niya. Go. Nasaan na? Yung tinawag ko.
Hello po. Wait lang. Rinig po ba?
Okay.
Subordinates need for independence, readiness to assume responsibility, tolerance for ambiguity, interest in the problem, understanding of goals, knowledge, experience, and expectations.
So for this type of approaches of leadership, so dapat i-consider mo yung characteristics ng subordinate mo na usually they need independence, 'di ba? Huwag mong bantayan, huwag mong i-micromanage. May tiwala ka sa kanila eh. So they can do it. So huwag mong bantayan. Wala na lang pati pag CR binabantayan mo eh. Nabasa mo na email ko? Opo. May load ka na, may internet ka na. Bumili ka. Talaga may lagnat ka ba? Wag ganon. Hayaan mo siyang kumilos. Hayaan mo siyang give them room to work, 'di ba? Siyempre, the subordinate in any case that the leader is unavailable is ready to assume the leadership or assume any other responsibilities that the task requires. So, hindi yung papalag sa trabaho. Sabihin niya, dami ko na ginawa sir eh. Tapos na ako. Si ano naman? Kaya sabi niya, ay hindi ko alam yan, siya ang nakakaalam yan. Kasi masyadong nanggugulang na. Dapat, willing to assume responsibility. Diba? And then, yun nga, interesado siya to solve the situation. Siya rin mismo, gusto niya makakontribute. Naintindihan niya yung bakit kailangan i-resolve to, ano ba talaga objectives natin, ano bang halaga ng objectives, anong relevance, sino maapektuhan pag hindi na-achieve yung objectives natin. Then they should have enough experience, knowledge, diba? Technical skills, and wisdom. Diba? Next. Sino yung susunod? Janelle ba? Pakibasa sinula.
Type of organization, group effectiveness, the problem itself, time pressures. Hello po? Sir, dinig po ba ako? Hello po?
Yes po.
Sige, inaano ko lang, umuulan sa amin, sinasarado ko lang yung bintana.
Ulitin ko po.
Okay, please lang.
Okay po. Type of organization, group effectiveness, the problem itself, time pressures.
Okay, so yun nga, yung characteristics, di ba? Ano bang nature? Ano bang type ng organization natin? Ano ba to? Non-voluntary, non-government organization? Is this a cause-oriented? Is this bureaucratic like in the government? Ano ba to? Profit-driven ba to? So, it depends kung paano ang leadership mo. And then, yung effectiveness, di ba? Effective ba yung grupo natin? Baka may incompetence tayo dito. Kailangan i-address first before we address the situation. Diba? Ano ba yung problema in the first place? Kaya ba natin within our ambit of authority and power? Or it is beyond our control? Diba? Ano ba nature ng problem na to? Paano natin natakihin to kung hindi natin naintindihan kung ano yung problema? And also, ultimately, deadline. Lahat ng bagay may time pressure, may deadline na kailangang iset at i-achieve specific time frame. Ito class, napaka-importante nito before we continue on. This is very, very important. Ginagamit na to sa trabaho, even in the government. In the private, I'm not sure, pero matagal na itong ginagamit sa ibang bansa. Sa mga karamihan ng government agency, ginagamit ito. Not all, pero ginagamit. At ang problem is, not all employees know this. Sa PLM, ginagamit ito. Nakita ko na to. It's called CSW. Doon sa dinevelop na doktrina sa if I could remember, Australian yata yun na sundalo or Canadian, something like that. They need it for in their military. Kung paano ba, parang si Provost Marshal yata pangalan, nakalimutan ko na. So, this is being utilized by military training camp sa US. So, the best of the best are there. The reason they're best of the best is because they're applying CSW class. Again, information. Doctrine of complete put it in even when you hindi na tayo nagkaklase, even sa trabaho nyo na, sa schooling nyo, even sa family nyo. Nahinig nyo ako, class, parang nag-bad, bad network.
Rinig po, sir.
Okay.
Rinig po.
Diba? Isa puso nyo ito. Diba? Isa Bible nyo sa utak nyo to. Study it well and thoroughly, repeatedly. Again, I'm reminding you, take note of doctrine of completed staff work as a whole. Everything about doctrine of completed staff work presented on these succeeding slides. Erwin, first slide, followed by Cyril, Rachel, Christine Jewel, and Christine Joy, and Christine Marie. Talaga nagsama yung tatlo. Sige, Erwin.
Hello, sir. Rinig po ba ako?
Medyo lakasan mo lang konti.
Sige po. Doctrine of completed staff work. Completed staff work is the study of a problem and presentation of a solution by a staff officer in such form that all that remains to be done on the part of the head of the staff division or the commander is to indicate his approval or disapproval of the completed action. The words completed staff action are emphasized because the more difficult the problem is, the more tendency is to present the problem to the chief in piecemeal fashion. It is duty as the staff officer to work out the details. You should not consult your chief in the determination of those details, no matter how perplexing they may be. You may and should consult other staff officers. The product, whether it involves the pronouncement of a new policy or affect an established one, should, when presented to the chief for approval or disapproval, be worked out in finished form. Thank you, sir.
Rachel, class, paki-automatic na lang. Nilist ko na yung pangalan niya.
The impulse, which often comes to the inexperienced staff officer to ask the chief what to do, recurs more often when the problem is difficult. It is accompanied by a feeling of mental frustration. It is so easy to ask the chief what to do, and it appears so easy if you do not know your job. It is your job to advise your chief what he ought to do, not to ask him what you ought to do. He needs your he needs your answer, not questions. Your job is to study, write, restudy, and rewrite until you have evolved a single proposed action, the best one of all you have considered. Your chief merely approves or disapproves.
Do not worry your chief with long explanation and memoranda. Writing a memorandum to your chief does not constitute completed staff work, but writing a memorandum for your chief to send to someone else does. Your views should be placed before him in finished form so that he can make them by simply signing his name. In most instances, completed staff work results in a single document prepared for the signature of the chief without accompanying comment. If the proper result is reached, the chief will usually recognize it at once. If he wants comment or explanation, he will ask for it.
The theory of completed stop work does not preclude a rough draft, but the rough draft must not be a half-baked idea. It must be completed in every respect except that it lacks the requisite number of copies and need not be neat. But a rough draft must not be used as an excuse for shifting to the ship the burden of formulating the action.
The completed staff work theory may result in more work for the staff officer, but it results in more freedom for the chief. This is as it should be. Further, it accomplishes two things. A. The chief is protected from half-baked ideas, voluminous memoranda, and immature oral presentations. B. The staff officer who has a real idea to sell is enabled more readily to find a market.
Ivy Joy, pakituloy.
Doctrine of completed stop work. When you have finished your completed stop work, the final test is this. If you were the chief, would you be willing to sign the paper you have prepared and stake your professional reputation on its being right? If the answer is negative, take it back and work it over because it is not yet completed stop work.
Okay, class. So, sa office namin, ginagamit to, CSW. Um, kailangan, you did your own research, and then if you find some problems or um, issues that needs to be resolved, you also find the solution to that issue along with the all alternative course of actions. Kaya pag pinigay mo yan sa superior mo, yung leader, would have to see it na lang to choose which course of action which is best fitted. So it makes the work streamlined, mas mabilis. Kasi nga, the manager is handling multiple activities, managing multiple tasks, multiple personnel. So hindi wala na siyang oras na isa-isahin 'yon. That is why you are there to provide CSW. Hindi pwede yung sa bahay, CSW, dumating yung nanay mo. Yung nanay ni Christine, dumating. Nak, nakapagsaing ka na. Hindi po, Nay. Bakit hindi ka nagsaing? Wala pong bigas eh. Hindi mo silip kung may bigas tayo? Wala na eh. Oh, hindi ka kumuha ng pera sa taas kung saan man. Wala kayong pera iniwan eh. Okay. Wala kang savings sa allowance? Wala eh. Hindi ka ba pwedeng humiram dyan sa pinsan mo, sa kapitbahay nating pinsan? Hindi eh. Hindi ka pa pwedeng umutang doon sa best kumari ko, best friend ko na merong grocery dyan sa tapat natin. Total, lagi naman tayo dyan pinapautang. Minsan libre pa nga. Hindi eh. So, hindi CSW ginawa mo. Sinabi mo lang, wala akong bigas. Wala eh. Hindi ako nagsaing. Balik ako sa panonood ng let's say, Wawawin. Ganon. Will. Kay Willie. Idol mo si Willie. So, walang CSW class. Ano nangyari? Pagod na yung mother mo. Galing sa trabaho. Diba? O galing sa negosyo. Kung palengke man, pinanggalingan niya. So, siya pa rin. Sasabihin niya, di magnanaknak na yan. Kung ano na sasabihin. Magdadabog-dabog na yun sa kusina. Kasi wala kayong ginawang CSW. So, CSW is applicable even our simple activities in life. So, sa leadership, sa contingency, kailangan niyang CSW. Required ang CSW sa contingency approach of leadership. Kasi nga, may mga biglaan nangyayari, biglaang situation, biglaang task na gagawin or requirement. And kung hindi ka sanay sa CSW, hindi kayo makakasabay, hindi kayo makaka-react. Kasi reactionary kayo. So, palagay nyo, class, anong magandang CSW nangyari doon sa sa Cagayan nung nag-flooding? Ano dapat ang ginawang CSW? Anyone? Nag-announce ang pag-asa. Okay, magkakaroon po ng bagyo, ganito kalakas. Signal number 4 siya. Ang lakas. Wina-warningan namin lahat ng madadaanan. Wala pa doon sa lugar na yon. Ano dapat ang ginawang CSW? Anyone?
Relocation, sir.
Pero wala pa, ha? Paparating pa lang, ha?
Okay.
So, anong magandang CSW? Yes, Alhambra.
Hello sir, prepare yung mga kailangan sir para sa pagdadating na yung bagyo sir. Katulad ng mga damit sir or first aid kits, mga canned goods sir, mga ganun sir.
Nag-prepare na ang city government, di ba? Ang provincial government. Apart from that, ano pa pwedeng gawing CSW?
Warning drill, sir.
Ha?
Drill po, warning drill. Yung parang yung mga maapektuhan, kailangan meron ng sinasabing po na gagawin nila.
Okay.
In case.
Sige, last. Sino pa? Last na. Sino pa? Last. Last input. Sige, may bilin.
Sure, feel ko dapat nung sinabi na malakas nga yung bagyo at pinalikas na yung mga tao dun sa place nila para mas, mas naging safe sila, ganun.
Pero masyadong maaga pa kasi yun. So, hindi mo pwedeng CSW yun. Pero, pinag-standby siguro pwede. Minobilize mo na yung mga trucks mo and then yung relocation site mo or evacuation site mo. Naka-ready na to accept. Ha? Di ba nangyari doon sa sa Rodriguez Rizal? Pagpunta sa evacuation, wala nang social distancing, labo-labo na. Kaya marami ngayon lumalabas na positive doon. Kasi nga, hindi ka handa. Dapat nag-set ka na ng location. Di ba, ginawa na yan ni Makati nung iba sa Marikina na nakahanda na yung portable tent. Pati kompleto na sa loob yung canned goods, emergency equipment, doon na. Pero doon sa flooding ng dam, dapat hindi ka lang nakinig doon sa sinabi ng National Irrigation Authority. Dapat si mayor, si congress, si governor, naglagay na kagad ng tao doon to monitor personally himself and sabihin talaga sa local executive na, sir, iba pakiramdam ko dito. Mukhang iba ang magiging itsura nito. Ito sinasabi ng mga taga dito sa irrigation, sa dam, pero ako, ang tingin ko ganito. Ito recommendation ko sa iyo. Palagay ko, maganda na kayo. Makabubuksan lahat ng or lalakasan ng bukas ng gates ng dam. Hindi yung hinintay mo, sinabihan nga kayo, pero hinintay mo kung gaano kalakas na yung bubuksan. Umaasa ka. Mas magandang minonitor mo personally doon. Merong doon taong nagsasabi sa'yo, real time. Naglagay ka na rin ng drone na sumisilip, malayo pala kung gaano kalakas. Diba? May stations ka na kaagad para nalalaman kung nangyari. It is different with what happened doon sa Taal volcano explosion. Diba? Kasi doon nagbigay ng warning ang PhilBox at na-monitor ng kanilang mga equipment. Sinasabi na maaga pa lang mag-evacuate. Hindi nakinig ang LGU. Too late the hero. In this case naman doon sa flooding, sana kung ginawa yon na, di ba, preventive may mangyayari na paparating na danger, kabahan ka. Sige nga, validate natin, abangan natin, CSW. So, class, yun yung importance ng CSW, even in your projects, even in your assignment, even in your work. So again, let me remind you, everyone here, again, just as I reminded the first section, to go over thoroughly sa doctrine of completed stop work. I said, doctrine of completed stop work. Hindi ako nagkulang sa paalala. Next, can you read this? Sige, Erneville, and then followed by Kenneth sa susunod na slide.
Approaches to leadership, leader-member exchange. Due to time pressures, leaders are forced to establish special relationship with a small group of followers or subordinates. The leader implicitly categorizes the follower as an in or an out, and the relationship is relatively stable over time. Leaders induce LMX by rewarding those employees with whom they want a closer linkage and punishing those with whom they do not. But for the LMX relationship to remain intact, the leader and the follower must invest in the relationship.
Okay, class. Yung nga, short name, leader-member exchange is LMX. So, nangyayari ito yung bigla kang nilagay na chief, bigla kang pasok sa kumpanya, biglang ikaw leader pagpasok mo. Ha? Ako ang leader? Transferi ako eh. Sino itong mga kasamahan ko? So, kailangan mag-forge ka agad ng connection sa members mo or subordinates mo. Lalo na sa mga kumpanya or sa authority, diyan mapasok yung trust and confidence. Kaya appoint ng kung sino-sino. Kung yung hindi maia-appoint, tatanungin mo, are you in or are you out? Are you with me or against me? Maasahan ba kita o ikaw mismo manlalaglag sa akin? So, loyalty checks, nangyayari yan. Diba? Kaya nga, karamihan, kahit maganda performance ng executive sa government natin, pinapalitan kasi may question siya sa loyalty. Lalo bagong palit ka lang doon. Bagong lagay lang ng presidente. So, yung presidente, hindi niya kilala yung mga tao. Gagawin niya, igagrant niya lahat ng request for retirement. Sige, para maubos, mapalitan lahat ng bagong set of officers or appointees. Likewise, bago sila mag-retire, bago sila umalis sa office, yung presidente, 1 year before, pustahan ko sa inyo, mag-a-appoint ng mga panibagong officers, military, police, mga agencies, and especially Supreme Court. Bakit? Utang na loob. Para pag after nun, pag naghahabulan na ng kaso after the presidency, appointee pa yung mga yun. So, delaying tactics. After ng retirement niya, saka na ngayon mag-a-appoint ng bagong set of officers yung bagong presidente. Saka na siya ngayon maghahabol sa mga dapat habulin. So, yan yung sa LMX. Disease of leadership. Plus, I base this document, doctrine, not doctrine, but a document from the Vatican. So, galing kay Pope ito. But it is applicable regardless of your religion or your religious affinity. It is applicable to all leadership functions. So, can you read this, Flores? Hindi available si Flores. Sige, Kenneth. Si Kenneth yata yung nakalimutan ko yung next slide. Sige, go, Kenneth.
The 15 diseases of leadership. Leaders are susceptible to an array of debilitating maladies, including arrogance, intolerance, myopia, and pettiness. When those diseases go untreated, the organization itself is enfeebled.
So, yun nga. Mga leaders, tao din yan, class. Nagkakamali nga yan. Even in, I'll give you a brief background sa Catholicism. 8 years ako sa Catholic school. Even nung unang panahon nga, di ba, nung sa minana ng Rome, yung Roman Catholic, di ba? So, subject to human error. Kasi that time, the ruler is under the influence of the church. At ang pagiging pari, namamana. Di ba? And it's an authority. Kaya nagkaroon ng mga various religions or sects. Kasi, because of the malpractices early on, dahil tao lang yung iba, tao nga lang, Hindi sila, kahit na sabi mo may Holy Spirit sa utak nila, hindi lahat pinasukan ng Holy Spirit. So, di ba nangyari, even yung magbabayad ka, gusto mong mapatawad sa kasalanan mo, magbibigay ka ng yung parang hindi man donation or something, basta ganun, parang patawad ka. Kasi nga, whatever is bounded on earth shall be bound in heaven. So kung yung sinabi ng Pope, ito ang policy ngayon, na gusto mong patawarin ka sa lahat ng kasalanan mo, magbigay ka ng donation. Yun yung nangyari. And then bawal, dati, kaya pinagbawal nga na mag-asawa, ang pare, kasi namamana yung authority. Diba? Nagiging powerful sila. So, kaya pinagbawal. Compared dun sa mga ating Christian brothers na, diba, pastor ka pero pwede ka mag-asawa, something like that. So, kasi it is subject to human error at that time. Diba? Until now, meron pa rin naman. Kaya may mga iba mga issue. The church is not perfect. Kasi nga, it's still by humans. But we expect the higher, the echelon of authority, yung mga pope, to be guided by the Holy Spirit. Pero down the line, we cannot assure. So we don't base our faith sa persons, but we base it on our beliefs, di ba? So, yun yung take off nun sa Catholicism. Maraming mga nagkaroon ng dark ages at that time, di ba? So, doon pa nga lang pari ka na, nagkakamali ka, di ba? Even yung mga Muslim leaders nagkakamali din, nagiging, di ba? Some of them are become radical and then influence the younger generation to be yung maling interpretation ng allegedly maling interpretation ng Quran, where you kill for the glory of God, di ba? Ni Allah, you go straight to their version of heaven. So doon ang leadership, kung tao is, religious leaders can be affected by being human, being erroneous, what more the regular leaders. So walang makakatakas yan. Even Hitler, even Ninoy, even Rizal, even Aguinaldo, even General Luna, diba? Arrogance kay General Luna, diba? Even Donald Trump, Biden, Jordan, si Jordan bully sa group nila, binuli si team manager nila, si Jerry Cross. So kung hindi siya nang bully ng ganon, hindi naging insecure si Jerry, and then sana baka humaba pa yung championship era nila. Hindi pa sila natanggal. Hindi pa nagsipag-retirean yung iba. So, yun ang sakit ng leadership. Marami. So, ano-ano ba to? Volunteer. Boaz, then next slide, Abby, followed by Leancy and Mike. Huwag niyo muna ibaba yung kamay niyo hanggang kay Mike. Sige, game.
The disease of thinking we are immortal, immune, or downright. The disease is excessive busyness, the disease of mental and emotional petrification, the disease of excessive planning and of functionalism.
Yun, class. So, sabi nga, minsan, di ba sa pelikula na nangyayari yung immortal, yung leader hindi nababaril, hindi tinatablan, hindi nahihiwa, kasi yung bida di ba? Pero in real life, hindi. We are subject to wear and tear as a leader. Di ba, tawag nila sa basketball nga, kay Kagiwa, di ba, Gatorade man. Diba, walang ginawa na lang, kundi mag-Gatorade daw. Teka lang. So, nawala. So, yun nga. We need to take a break as a leader. Even ako, subject din ako sa ganyan. I'm doing a lot of things all at the same time. So, I'm not leading anyone per se, although I have supervisory power sa office, pero that's not enough leadership para sa akin. But I'm leading yung family ko. So, yung saan papunta ang buhay namin. So, I'm teaching sa inyo weekends and Friday nights. I also 8 to 5 work weekdays. I study sa UP-OYO for my master's sa land valuation, weeknights, diba? And then, suddenly, I had to go to mabilisang review for the board exam, which questionable pa nga dahil kailangan ng feasibility study. I have only 1 month to prepare for such. So, di ba, mabe-burn out ba ako? Yun ang tanong. So, I'm trying to lead my family because of those actions. Kaya ako naggagawa ng ganong action. So, we are still human, mortal tayo. We need to rest. We need to value ano ba yung importante sa paligid natin, yung memories, yung time, yung spend moments sa family, di ba? Yung downtime sa sarili mo, di ba? Kasi nga, hindi ka immortal. You need to regenerate. You need to re-energize yourself. Yun ang problema sa leader. Minsan, masyado siyang oozing with energy, hindi niya napansin, pabagsak na yung health niya. Nabagsak na yung kanyang health, physically, mentally, emotionally, and socially. Then sa excessive busyness nga, yun nga, in relation to that, lahat na lang, kasi parang feeling mo napaka-powerful ka eh. Pag you have already experienced yung empowerment na parang nagiging leader ka na, that you are, things are falling into your plans, lahat. You feel like, parang naka-powerful ko, parang I can do everything. I'm able to stretch 24 hours to look like 48 or 36 hours. Diba? Sa dami ng nagagawa ko. And the satisfaction it brings empowers you further. Dagdag energy. Kaya nga sa computer games, diba? The more na nananalo ka sa kalaban mo, lalong na-energize yung life mo. Pag natatalo ka, like NBA Live, hindi ka nakakashoot, lalo kang hindi ka nakadepensa, steal or block, lalong hindi makashoot yung player na nilalaro mo. Diba? Kasi nga, doon yung masyadong yung excessive busyness nakaka-effect. And then, mental and emotional petrification. So, may takot ka eh. Diba? Hindi ka makatulog class pag leader ka. Even right now, our leaders, hindi makatulog. Bakit? Ang daming pressure. Ang daming nagagali ba sila lahat sa akin? Tatanggalin ba ako sa pwesto? Ikukudita ba ako? I-assassinate ba ako? Masyadong mapapapil sa ganito. Napapahiya ako. Ako makapangyarihan. Yung ego ko naapakan. So, hindi ka makakatulog niyan. Kasi yan ang laman ng utak mo. Mawiwindang ka na parang yung dilat ka. Nakatira ka ng nakafoil. Then, planning and functionalism. Lahat na lang dinumero. Lahat na lang may rason kailangan gawin. May purpose lahat. Kasi nga, you're trying to accommodate a lot of things. You have to do a lot of things. You have to manage a lot of people. You have to manage a lot of projects. You have to lead people. And minsan nagiging robotic ka. You're forgetting to live. You are just living. You are living in life, but you are not living a life. Diba? Hindi mo nang alam lasa ng halo-halo. Diba? Next. Alam niyo na kung sino kasunod. Just open your mic.
The disease of poor coordination. The leadership, Alzheimer's disease. The disease of rivalry and vainglory. The disease of existential schizophrenia. The disease of gossiping, grumbling, and backbiting.
Ayan, class. Poor coordination. Kasi nga, you want to do everything on your own na nga minsan dyan. So, wala ka tiwala sa tao mo, sa kasama mo. So, you're poorly coordinating things kasi you want to cover everything in your base. Diba? Ako lang magaling, ako lang nakakaalam, kaya nga ako leader. Diba? Hindi mo ini-involve yung iba. Alzheimer's disease, diba? Mahina na rin ang mo, sa utak mo. Yung katawan mo, nakakaroon ng nervous breakdown, yung mga nerves mo, gumagalaw-galaw. Yung utak mo, nahirapan ka ng nabablanko ka na minsan. Ako, minsan nakakaranas ko ng ganyan. Parang yung maliit na bagay, kakaisip ko lang, nasa hagdan pala ako, nalimutan ko na kung ano yung sasabihin ko. Kasi ano na parang hard drive, class, yung hard disk nyo. Hanggang 32 gig ka lang. So, kailangan mo nang magbawas ng ibang information, i-override. So, sakto, na-override yung ibang iniisip mo. Na-override ng facts, na-override ng information, skill sets, and everything. Rivalry and vainglory. Diba? Minsan, yung leader, in the objective to be successful, in the objective to be the number one, yung kanyang kumpanya, yung kanyang grupo, nagkakaroon ng rivalry and vainglory na gusto niya lagi, lahat ng awards kanya. Rivalry, gusto niya papagsakin lagi yung competition. Di ba? So, hindi siya secure sa sarili niya. Yung kumpanya, hindi rin secure sa sarili nila. So, nagkakaroon ng rivalry, nag-iisip ka ng masama. Gusto mong papagsakin. Instead of just, ano ba purpose ng development nyo, ng real estate development nyo? To provide homes. Isa hindi, to beat Ayala. Nakalagay kagad sa utak niya, to beat Ayala and SMDC. Doon pa lang malinaw na. Existential schizophrenia. So, schizo ka na. Diba? Yung windang ka na Diba? Yung ano mo diba? Likewise, yung ibang mental illnesses, ano ba yung isa na yun? Schizophrenia ba yun? Basta yung may sense of importance na ikaw ay may halaga sa mundo. Without you, the world will not exist. Importante ka. Leader ka The world needs you. Diba? Don Quixote. Then, gossiping, grumbling, and backbiting. Nangyayari yan kasi yung leader, lalo na kung hindi maganda ang kanyang foundation sa kanyang morals and values, will resort to gossiping, grumbling, and backbiting just to achieve their goal at all means necessary. Diba? And yung mga frustrations niya, na natalo siya, naangatan siya, siya nga yung the best Siya ang leader. Baka maya, inaagawan na ako ng kapangyarihan ng aking staff. Diba? Usually yung ganyan, yan yung walang may magawa sa buhay. Doon niya yun lang ang buhay niya. Kaya mahalaga sa kanya na yung kanyang leadership hindi matitreaten. Next.
The disease of
The disease of idolizing superiors, the disease of indifference to others, the disease of downcast face, the disease of hoarding, the disease of close circle.
Okay. Yung mga leaders na yan, minsan, meron din silang boss na sinusunod, mas mataas. Whether kung political or private organizations yan. May ganun yan, masyado kang believe kay Steve Jobs. So, gino-Diyos mo si Steve Jobs. Diba? You're losing your identity. Gino-Diyos mo na yon. So, gagawin mo lahat. Diba? Huwag lang mapahiya ka sa boss mo. Gagawin mo lahat para lang masatisfy yung kanyang expectation. Kaya sasabihin mo sa team member mo or subordinate mo, ayusin niyo yung trabaho niyo. Walang matutulog, walang kakain hanggat walang nahuhuling isda. Diba? Muruami. So, yung isa naman, this is for indifference to others. Wala kang pakialam sa tao sa paligid mo. Hindi ka makarelate Why should I go as a leader? Leader ako, nasa Castillo ako Nakakulambo ako. Bakit ako pupunta doon? May COVID doon. Magkasakit pa ako. O kaya malunod ako. Diba? O kaya maulanan ako, lagnatin ako. Patay ako. Pagpatay ako, walang presidente. I said, there's the vice president to take over. Pero wala. So, hindi ako pumunta. Kasi patay ako doon. Sounds familiar, right? So, indifference ka. Hindi maintindihan yung gutom ng mga tao sa baba. Yung hirap ng mga estudyante hindi makakonect sa internet. Yung hirap din ng professor na gumagastos for their own para lang makakonect sa internet and provide consistent connection. And then also to provide the integrity of the exam. Paano? Diba? Hindi ka makakonect. Diba sabi sa Love Radio, hindi ko makonect. So, ganun. Downcast space. So, 'Di ba? Parang ngiting aso ka na diyan, 'di ba? Yung plastic ka eh. Kasi may mga may biases ka na sa utak. Minsan lumalabas 'yun, yung parang si ano, ha? Ah, hindi naman yan magaling eh. Hindi maasahan yung tao na yan. Ayan. Buti nga umalis na sa team ko eh. May ganun-ganun ka na. Meron ka ng, hindi ka na inosente, hindi ito na lahat binabati mo. Ngayon, masyado kang sarcastic minsan. Nangyayari yun. Kasi you think you're so good. Diba? You're the best. You're the top. You're a leader. You're a manager. Hindi ka dapat ginaganon. Diba? May I speak to your manager, sabi ni Karen. This is of hoarding. You're hoarding information. You're hoarding facts. You're hoarding technology, skill sets, access to vital matters, diba? Kasi you want to keep it for yourself para may leverage ka as a leader. And close circles, namimili ka ng tao kinakausap mo. Broker na ako so dapat nakausap ko lang yung mga broker na ganito. I don't talk to sales agent. Mga ganun. I don't talk to my classmate anymore. Why? Okay. Broker manager ako sa Ayala Corporation. My God. Diba? The nerve. Diba? My level is this high and them this low. Diba? Samantalang yun nagpapakopa sa iyo dati. Diba? Hindi ka pumasa. Yung college, hindi ka pinakopya nun. Although mali man yun, pero still, sabihin, masyado kang dahil ang taas na ng tingin mo sa sarili mo. Hindi ka mga lumingin sa pinanggalingan. Okay, leadership styles. Ito yung, in essence, paano ba yung description ng, how do you identify yung leadership styles? May iba pang leadership styles na ibang school of thought. Pero ito yung 4 essential, call this, characteristics ng leadership. Daphne, followed by Mike, then Paul.
Leadership styles. Telling, concerned with performance of the task in hand and will seek to get it done by assigning the carrying out of to their subordinate.
So, paano yung telling? Hindi ko alam kung dito nanggaling yung salitang tililing eh. Bakit? Sasabihin, Daphne, gawin mo to. Mike, gawin mo to. Paul, gawin mo to. Abi, ikaw kumuha ito. Andre, tapos na yan. Angelica, nasaan na yung status? Delivery, Althea. Telling. So, gawin mo to, gawin mo to, gawin to, gawin to. Ganun lang. You're just, assigning. Diba? Yun lang. Routinary lang ginagawa mo. Telling them what to do. Selling. Next.
Selling, concern for the relationship with their subordinates, and will seek to persuade them to undertake the task.
Okay, class. So, you're more on the relationship with your subordinates. Ini-influence mo sila. You're selling the idea, the concept of why we need to do this. Team, kailangan nating matapos itong work na to within this coming week kasi if we do this at magandang mood ni boss dahil dito sa nagawa natin, baka mapagbigyan tayo doon sa hinihingi na inaasam-asam natin na request for issuance of laptops bawat isa sa atin. So, we need this para may maibala tayo sa management to tell them na we need this capitalization, this equipment so that we can provide better output than what we already excellently displayed to you now. Para maging magaan team sa kanilang loob na pagbigyan tayo kasi maganda naman ang nagiging output natin. So you sell them that idea. So your team members will buy into that kasi mag-benefit din sila doon. Next.
Involving, concerned with relationships that with the immediate performance of the task in hand, and will seek to involve their subordinates in the decision-making and planning process.
So, class, teka lang. So, class, yun nga, relationship din itong involving. Pero, more on, involving yung mga, sorry for the word, involving talaga magagamit ko eh. Yung, inaano mo sila, yung mga team members mo, subordinates mo na, they are stakeholder to that particular task or activity and to the decision making. Yung kanilang concerns and inputs are given consideration and is valued. So, valued siya na may kinalaman kayo dito. Hindi ko to angkinin as my um, personal idea, kundi it's a group effort and then you all will be recognized and the management will see to it na, uy, points ito sa bawat member ng team saying na they're doing a good job and maybe a factor later on for promotion. Diba? So, hindi ka lang, you're just not selling the idea, asking support, but you let them give an input to the task. Diba? Lastly, sige, Cyril.
Delegating, not overly concerned with either the completion of the task or their relationship with their subordinates, will leave it to them to determine when and how the task should be performed.
Okay, so, delegating lang. Diba kung kanina telling, gawin mo to, sa kanya, ina-assign lang niya kasi sa tingin niya, competent na yung mga tao doon at alam na nila kung anong gagawin. So, delegate ko. You should know this by this time. Sabi mo sa regional office. Ang dami nyo dyan eh. So, kayo na dinidelegate ko na yung authority sa inyo to resolve this matter. So, yun nga. May tiwala ka kasi of the competency. Alam mo naman na may capacity sila at may enough personnel sila for that to do task. So, dinidelegate mo. They are capable as if kaya mo. Yun nga lang, may danger dyan sa delegating. So, delegate ka ng delegate, hindi naman pala sila capable. Diba? This delegating concept only applies if talagang competent and empowered yung taong magiging tagagawa, yung bibigyan ng delegation. Pero kung wala, pinapasa, ang tawag dyan is pasa load. Pinapasa mo yung responsibilidad sa iba. So, yan yung graphical representation as to where these characteristics of leadership styles are leaning towards to. Next. So, kanina leadership styles, ito naman styles of leadership. Anyone can read? Mary, and then followed, malawa pa to. Ugadan, followed by Mary Antoinette. Hold nyo lang yung screen na yan, marami to. Do not raise down your, sabi ko, huwag tanggalin yung kamay eh. Hintayin nyo lang yan. Hanggang kay Ramiro, Tagalog. Stop. Okay. Oka, last ka na. So, can you read this, Ugadan?
Styles of leadership suggest that the qualities of leadership are not fixed but rather that they depend upon the people involved and their respective personalities.
Okay. So, yun nga, ito yung popular leadership na kilala natin, yung mga tawag sa kanila. So, this is custom fit kung ano yung behavior nila. Next.
Authoritarian. More averse with a chance to be compelling on. Conveys command and the group believing that pioneer without inquiry.
So class, authoritarian, need not to say, familiar na familiar tayo sa authoritarian type of leadership, styles of leadership, di ba? So, nung martial law, nangyari yan, di ba? So, you are forced. Even in military, ganyan din, di ba? The ROTC, CAT, question, you can question right away. Obey first before questioning, di ba? Paborito natin. Very much abused. Next.
Democratic leadership, all-inclusive, depends on the group being counseled and their feelings being esteemed. Hence, those subordinates mostly through influence and example rather than oppose fear and force.
Okay, so, yun nga, democratic leadership, di ba? So, everybody has to be happy, di ba? Everybody has a freedom, di ba? Payaan kayo, sige, ano ba inyong gustong mangyari? Sige, we'll try to consider that, di ba? So, you're not inflicting fear sa mga, ano nyo, sa subordinates nyo, but rather, you try to influence mo sila, yung, i-motivate mo sila, di ba? So, sabi niyo sa you speak up. Ano bang problema? What do you think of this task na gagawin natin? So, democratic. Instead of yung merong punishment, di ba? Next, Antoinette.
Bureaucratic leadership. Take after guidelines thoroughly and guarantee that their kin take after methodology absolutely. Helpful for overseeing representatives who perform routine assignments.
Plus, need not further go sa example. Sa office ko na lang, bureaucratic, di ba? So when you say bureaucratic, may set of rules and procedures na kailangang sundin. May procedures. Bawal yung sanay lang class. So, sorry for that class. So, yun nga, routine. Merong procedures na kailangang sundin. Hindi ka pa pwedeng mag-bypass. Hindi pwedeng yung staff kakausap sa director, sa vice president, without going to first to the manager. Diba? Hindi pwedeng rumekta din, likewise, yung vice president, director, sa staff without talking to the manager. Kasi mayroon tayong kailangang sundin, procedure. May line. Diba? And then, yun nga, may structure, may SOP. Ayun, iba dyan, may ISO pa, na kailangang sundin. Sa government, tinatawag natin, Citizens Charter. Andun yun, nakadescribe anong dapat procedure all the way. Sinong dapat kausap, sinong assign. So, yun nga yung sabing, ang tagal i-process ng papel. Bakit? Kasi very bureaucratic process dinaanan ko. Diba? Kaya nga meron tayong streamlining na ginagawa sa government. Diba? Yun ang problema sa bureaucratic. Kailangan daanan mo lahat yun. Walang pwedeng sabihin, okay na to, you skip this portion, you go to this. Walang ganon. Dadaanan mo lahat yun. Next. Genevieve.
Charismatic leadership. Motivational. Create eagerness in their group by inspiring employees and helping them to stay persuaded at work.
Anyone, sinong bang charismatic leader na kilala nyo na familiar kayo right now? Locally.
Si Vico Soto, sir.
Vico Soto po.
Sino? Vico Soto. Aside from that, kapo kasi, no? Kaya Vico Soto kayo, ha? Kayo nag-aaral. Kayo nag-aaral.
Si Isko, sir.
Isko Moreno.
Bili nyo, nauna pa yung Mandalo, yung Pasig kaysa yung Maynila. Mga bias nyo, ha? Porque mas bata. Kung bata rin ngayon si Yorme, kinain din ng buhay yan si ano. Nung nagda si entertainment si Yorme, kala nyo.
Sir, gwapo yun.
Sino?
Si Yorme,
Isko.
sir. Tama.
O kaya nga, nung bata siya, nung that's entertainment, run for the money si Vico Soto. Gwapo talaga si Yorme nung ano siya, nung that's entertainment, nung teenager pa siya. Walang ano, pero sino unang sinagot niyo? Taga Pasig, taga Maynila kayo, nag-aaral, kayo talaga. Pero
Yan,
yun nga,
may sap pa kayo.
ano no, May?
Kincha Villar pa rin.
May sap pa sila, sir, na, sir. Tapos, Pasig
Ganun,
muna nila.
ganun talaga yun. Kung sino yung nag-aabot, sino yung nagbibigay, hindi yun ang papansinin. Yung hinahabol, doon ang hahabulin. Diba? Kaya, ang trick dyan, boys, huwag yung masyadong habulin. Kayo rin magpakipot din kayo kung wari.
Noted,
Kagat
sir.
din kayo.
Noted,
Hindi
sir.
yung, hindi yung makikita kayo sa dangwa, bibili kayo ng bulaklak na hindi nyo nakita yung mukha nyo pag sumakay sa jeep sa sobrang laki. May kasama pang dal, stop toy, tapos may kasama pa na bouquet ng chocolate, di ba? Iaabot mo, pag abot mo, di ba? O thank you, ganyan. Yung pala, yung chocolate, kakainin nila kasama ni Vico Soto. Iyak si Yorme. Diba? Ganun talaga yun. Kaya huwag nyo ibibigay lahat. Save some for yourself. Likewise, girls, ganun din. So, isang example ng charismatic leadership yun. Pag dumating pa lang, ramdam mo na, parang nakukuryente ka na, parang, kumbaga nga kay Brother Velarde, napapa El Shaddai ka na kagad. Papapasunod ka. Pag sinabi niya sa'yo na tumalon ka nga, tatalon ka talaga eh. Diba? Ako, halimbawa, kwela si Yorme, sabihin sa'yo, sige nga, mag-ano ka nga, 8-8. Mag-8-8 ka sa harapan niya, di ba? Maaaring hindi. Pag sabihin, there's a probability. Di ba? Kasi mapapasunod ka. So, using in it a positive application, di ba? Charismatic leadership can move a nation forward. Di ba? It can go further. It can spell the nation to success and even tragedy. Paano tragedy? Anyone? Do you think na charismatic leader who led the nation or their organization into tragedy? Sige nga, tingnan natin. Open your mic and tell me who it is.
Sir, me? Si Franklin D. Roosevelt. Um, 'Di ba, when Pearl Harbor was bombed, the Americans really felt sad about it, but knowing that si Franklin D. Roosevelt, he was a cripple, pero pinilit niyang tumayo, and he made sure na even though in hard times like that, even though na he cannot stand, he he somehow managed to, just to show na parang na yes, we can fight back, parang ganun, na his charisma, it was just on the next level, and it pushed the morale of the American soldiers and the American people, industrial wise and war wise.
So sabi niya, don't tell me what is impossible. Kasi pinakita niya na possible siya nga. So yun yung positive, di ba? Na charismatic application ng charismatic leadership. Diba? Kaya they were able to kahit down na ang moral ng US. But on the other part of the world, on the same period of time, there's this also charismatic leader who led the Holocaust, Hitler. So, si Hitler, di ba nga, he started na frustrated artist, and then he, growing up, developed hate against Jews and migrants kasi he believed, and mga kababayan niyang iba also believe na they're taking away our jobs, our culture, our society, our country. So, nung nagkaroon siya ng opportunity to address certain groups, party, Nazi party, maliit lang yun, parang party list. So, he was full of conviction when he spoke, and ramdam niya talaga yung paghihirap at pinagdadaanan ng uh, typical Germans at that time na naghihirap na, nagugutuman na. So every time he spoke, it was full of not only anger but conviction. Now we will rise again. Hindi natin hayaang mawalan ng bansa tayo, na kunin nila ang opportunity sa atin. Diba? We reclaim what is ours. Diba? So, parami yung audience, palakas ang fiction niya, and everybody who's experiencing hardship at that time believed him, was moved by him. Yun yung charisma niya. Kaya nadala. Ergo, lumakas yung Nazi party, naagaw nila yung parliament. And then he became the leader of the German party, of the German nation. So sabi niya, so familiar ba yung "We will rise again"? Sounds like ba yun ngayon sa panahon na to?
Yes, sir.
Kanina natin narinig yan.
Donald Trump, make America great again.
So, yan ang problema sa protectionalism. Pag nasobra ka sa protectionalism and patriotism and nationalism, it will cross over to hate against other nationalities and nations. Like sa atin, inaapi tayo allegedly ng China sa fishing natin. That's a ticking time bomb. Later on, itong mga fishermen, mga kababayan natin, will develop hate against the Chinese. And then later, someone will come along with the power and charisma to rise up the ranks and weaponize that hate against the Chinese. And it will not be surprised, wag sana mangyari, pero I will not be surprised, it's one day, sakupin natin ang China because of so much hate. And then we'll annihilate some of the Chinese personalities here. That can be a path kung hindi natin makokontrol ang situation natin right now. Kasi right now, watak-watak tayo. Pero pag naging unified about that, that is a dangerous path to take. Kaya nga, dapat, kahit yung sa Facebook, makita nyo yung hatred, yung pambubuli, bawa, binubuli tayo ng Indonesia dahil tingin nila, napakagaling nila sa basketball. And then, pinagpapatulan din ng mga Pilipino na hindi na objective. Tinitira yung player ng Indonesia na magaling naman talaga, pero masyado tayong dominance of the basketball sa Southeast Asia na believe tayo sa sarili. We're crossing to dun sa virtue na ginawa ni Hitler. All of us are having those tendencies. Hindi pa nga lang collective, hindi pa weaponized. But when the right person comes along, that is dangerous. So regardless of any nation, diba, even yung paano ito yung almost genocide ng mga Chinese dito sa Tibet, Tibetan monks. Even them, even a small country or a group like that can be powerful kapag nasaid na yan, pag natulak na yan back against the wall and then faced by a charismatic leader led by them, diba? Like ginawa nila Genghis Khan. So yun ang danger ng charismatic leader. Kapag ka nag-crossover siya on the dark side, on the wrong path, on the wrong goal, and wrong conviction. Paternalistic. Atea?
Paternalistic leadership, family-oriented. Relationship between leader and group is same as of the head of the family and members of the family. Leader guides and protects his employees as a members of his family and gives his subordinates for great attempting states and border profits.
Paternalistic. Yan ang typical, isa rin sa typical leadership, style of leadership sa atin, lalo na sa government. May ganyan. Well, while at the onset, it looks good, kasi parang somebody cares for you, binabantayan ka ng boss mo, minsan nakakasakal. Why? Ultimong pag CR mo, tatanungin ka. I experienced that. Sasabihin sa akin, ba't hindi mo sinasagot yung text sa katawag ko? That was 7 o'clock in the morning. Class. Ma'am, nasa CR ako. I'm taking a bowel movement. You expect me to answer your call and text at 7 in the morning. Bakit? Sobrang paternalistic. Gustong may kasabay mag-breakfast. So, bakit di mo kayang kumain mag-isa? Ah, hindi ka secured sa sarili mo, may insecurity ka, hindi ka emotionally stable, that hindi mo kayang mag-moment mag-isa sa sarili mo. You need people around you. So, yun ang danger dyan. Kasi nagiging obsessive, nagiging controlling, dominating, even your personal life is being affected. Example niyan, case point, fictional story. Familiar kayo sa Devil Wears Prada? Anyone? Familiar ba kayo doon? Mga girls, hindi pa napanood yun. Kung hindi kayo sa fashion, dapat alam niyo yun. Walang nakakaalam. Boys, wala nakakilala.
Ay, sir, yung kay Anne Hathaway.
Yes, Anne Hathaway. So, si Meryl Streep is hindi lang siya authoritarian, may paternalistic din siya, authority doon. Bakit? Even yung personal relationships, pinapakialaman. Tama? Diba? Pinapakialaman niya yung personal na buhay na. It is beyond na ng kanyang authority. Buhay na may buhay yon. So, pati pagpili ng boyfriend, may ganun mga boses. Parang, wag yan ang i-date mo. Kilala ko yan. Ex yan ni Ervil. Yan. Pinaasa lang yan. Huwag kang maniwala dyan. So, pinapakailaman ka na. So, nangyayari yun in real life. Even I have experience like that. So, umu-over na yung leadership. Kasi sobrang paternalistic na yung kanyang pinapasok. Nagko-cross over to that na. To that effect. So, yan ang dapat iiwasan nyo. While it is good, minsan naging obsessive yung kanyan, yung paternalistic style of leadership. Next. Rachel May.
Transactional leadership. Colleagues consent to comply with their pioneer when they acknowledge an occupation. Has a privilege to punish colleagues if their work does not meet a standard.
So, yun nga, transactional. May transaction tayo, di ba? Parang iaabot mo sa akin, may kukunin ka sa akin. So, I give you an assignment, you have to comply, you have to complete it. If you do, I might reward you. But if you don't, then you are subject to repercussions. So, yun ang isa sa concept niyan na kaliwaan tayo. Hindi mo matupad, your breach of contract. Diba? Wala tayong wala akong pakialam kung birthday ng anak mo. Wala akong pakialam kung ikakasal ka na o manganganak ka na. Gawin mo tong trabaho to, I need it tomorrow. Problema mo yan. Diba? If you can't do it, I'll find someone else. Then you're free to leave already. Diba? Transactional yung leadership. Hanggang doon lang. Wala akong pake. Basta na-comply mo, good tayo. Wala problema doon. I don't need to hear your story. Hindi mo ako kaibigan, hindi mo ako friend, hindi mo ako buddy, hindi mo ako kainuman. Diba? Just do it. You're done. We go out. No talkies. I don't want to hear about your love life. Ganun. I don't want it even to discuss basketball, tennis, swimming, movies. No. Do your job, I'll do mine. Transformational. Now, this is, ito magandang din to. Styles of leadership. Osenero.
Transformational leadership. Encourage, motivates, and supports employers, often involve recognizing and rewarding people for their good work. Combine the best practices and are leaders who are trusted and can motivate others.
Okay, so yan class, di ba? Tina-transform ka niya to a better person. You are being competent. Ginagawa niyang competent ka, di ba? You're given also a reward for good work. Pero sabihin, apart from that, uh, kung siya magaling at kayo hindi magaling, gagawin niya rin lahat kayong magaling. Kaya kahit wala siya, kung paano yung trabaho niya, halos kaparehas na rin yung output kapag kayo ang gumawa. Sabihin, minumultiply ko yung sarili ko sa inyo. Kino-clone ko. So I'm trying to transform you. Not only on your competence, but on your behavior sa work. And ito ang kailangan natin. And so far, kilala nyo kung sino yung mga gumagawa nito. Oka.
Servant leadership. Employee happiness is seen as an end in itself, and servant leaders sometimes sacrifice their own well-being to help employees succeed.
Okay. So, yun nga, it's not about himself or themselves. It's about the team, the people in the team, and then the output and the people na nai-impact ng output. Diba? So, servant leadership. Hindi ka nandoon para sumikat, hindi ka nandoon para yumaman, because you want to help, you want to lead. Diba? Sino yung mga ganyan? Testing nga ulit. Sino kilala yung leader na ganyan, locally? Nahiya na. Oras. Naghahabol tayo oras. React. Raf, sino?
Sir, si VP Robredo po.
Si Vicky Velo?
Vice President po, si Robredo po.
Robredo, sorry. Dinig ko. Vicky Velo, dinig ko. Robredo, okay. Sino pa? Raf.
See.
Vico Soto po.
Sige na nga, Vico Soto na nga. Sige pa rin, Vico Soto.
Sir, si Isko, sir.
Sino?
Isko po.
Sino?
Si Kincha Villar.
Hindi ko marinig.
Isko Moreno, sir.
Oo. Kaya nga, sino pa nga yung iba?
Manny Pacquiao, sir.
Ako, sir, may kilala ako, sir.
Yan, Manny Pacquiao is an example.
May kilala ako, sir. Local din to, sir. Sir Dais, sir.
Leader, hindi man ako leader. Ano to, ipa-plus 50 pa kita sa midterms. Style mo, ha? Style mo. Class, it's not only that. Sino ba? Isang example niyan is Willie Revillame eh. May servant leadership din siya. At times, why? While trying to keep upload his business, is not doing to upload the business because kailangan pa niya ng pera. Kasi kailangan ng mga empleyado niya ng trabaho. Diba? And then, namimigay siya ng pera doon sa mga sectors na kailangan. Like yung sa kotse, diba? Binabawi niya sa kanyang advertisements. Diba?
Rapid tool po, sir.
See?
Rapid tool po.
Rapid tool po, servant leadership ba? Trabaho niya talaga yun eh. Diba? Yung sa broadcasting, ginagawa ba yun na outside the TV5 studio? So, sino man pwedeng example pa ng servant leadership?
Sir, ako may alam.
Si?
Angel Locsin po.
Yan, isang example yan. Servant leadership, si Angel. Diba? Yan yung mga isa pang example. Isa pang example niyan is Mother Teresa. Although wala na si Mother Teresa. Diba? Si Gandhi. Diba? So, yun yung mga leadership natin na bago lang yan. Bago naging concept yung servant leadership. Diba? Isa pa, kung Katoliko kayo, yung Franciscan orders. Diba? They go out in the rural areas preaching and then they're helping the communities, pero sila mismo sa sarili na mahirap sila. Sa Tayuman, pamilya ba ka dyan sa release ng tren sa Tayuman?
Yes, sir.
Oh, anong ano diyan, kumbento meron? Kung observant ka,
Charity.
hindi mo alam, tabi ng PLDT, di ba? May kumbento diyan ng mga madre. May mga Amerikano, Indian, may Pakistani, may African. So, mga ano yon, mga madre yon. Pero tinan mo naman, napakasimple, tsaka parang hirap tignan. Pero, yung kanilang nalilikom is, ginagamit nila to help the communities dyan sa Tondo area. So, servant leadership. So, sa business, may sarili din sila na leadership style sa entrepreneurship. So, eto, read it first. Ryan Vincent. Then next slide do not, huwag niyo baba yung kamay niyo ha, hanggang kay Gerard. O Christine Jewel. Huwag niyo mababa. Hanggang dyan lang yan. Sige, go.
Entrepreneurship leadership styles. The coaching style. Great mentor is a pioneer who likewise has a remarkable ability to instruct and train. Prep individuals to enhance both information and skills.
So, yun nga, coaching, mentoring. So, marami ako naging mentors sa trabaho. Hindi man marami. Mapipili lang sa isang kamay, sa 5 daliri. Hindi lahat kasi mentor eh. So, yun that's what I'm trying to emulate, yung kanilang wisdom, yung kanilang style. So, coaching style. Hindi yung trabaho mo to, gawin mo to, ganyan. Hindi. Kasi ito, improve mo yung ganito. Ito, gawin mo. Pag-aralan mo itong isang example, tignan natin kung ma-master mo. Habang nag-i-improve, very good na to, pero ayusin mo pa. More of a teacher ang dating. Yun yung mentoring, coaching style. Kasi ang purpose niya is not to, lalo na yung dati kong boss na naging director and then nag-retire na. Patanda na siya eh. Gusto niya ipasa na, yun na nalalaman niya. Wala na makakagamit nung nalalaman niya. Siya nga, mag-isa, memorize niya ang Book 1 and Book 2 of the Local Government Code or RA 7160. Alam niyo ba kung gano'ng kakapal yan? Word for word, kabisado niya. Kaya every time na magtuturo siya, mag-lecture siya sa mga trainings ng mga local government, talagang hindi mo maano dahil hindi lang niya kabisado, alam pa niya pa na-explain. Sinapuso niya. Tulad ng magsasapuso nyo ng ano yung pinapasapuso ko sa inyo?
Doctrine, sir.
Of
CSW.
Okay.
Completed stop work.
Okay, yon. Sinabi ko na ha. Basta sinabi ko. Next, Daphne.
Entrepreneurship leadership styles, cross-cultural, diverse leadership. Adopting the initiative styles expected in a different society, either the culture is hierarchical or national.
Okay. So yan, kasi mahirap pag-manage pag iba-iba, diverse masyado. Like in my previous office na pinapasukan sa Ortigas, so our boss is yung vice president ng company, even in Australia. So Australian ang boss namin. And we're serving Australian clients on Australian time zone. Diba? Tungkol sa loans, sa property loans. So, yung language barrier, yung tamang usage ng words, iba pa lang usage sa Pilipinas versus sa kanila. Iba meaning, contextual clues. Iba rin ang mentality o utak. So, mahirap mag-manage. So, kailangan marunong mag-adapt yung leader. Ayan, leader exchange. Personally lang, pakibasa nga, Atea. I just need to attend to something.
The leader exchange style includes the trading of favors between two people, hierarchical between the bosses or between two people of equivalent status.
Paul.
Hoy, Abi, huwag ka maingay dito. Lagot tayo.
O, yun na yung pinag-uusapan nyo.
Yancy, paano ka magbasa kanina?
Oh, shucks.
Uy, nandiyan si sir.
Okay, class. So, yun nga, exchange style. So, yung trading favor, so yung may kapalit, di ba? Tulungan mo ako, tulungan kita, scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. So, even between executives, nangyayari yan. Kasi may politics involved sa corporate setup, even in the public, in government offices. So, may ganunang factor yan. So, hindi to solo leadership May palitan to. So it takes two to tango para magawa mo yung ganitong klase. Situational, yan. Ito, situational leadership, similar sa contingency, this is very important concept na ini-implement worldwide nowadays. Daphne?
Situational leadership. Change intuitively between styles according to the general population and work they are managing.
Okay, so nag-a-adapt sila depende sa sitwasyon na nangyayari. At likewise, kung sino rin na magli-lead at that time na may nangyaring situation. So, you are responsive sa nangyayari. Hindi kayo knee-jerk reaction lang na, bigla lang tayong evacuation, ganun. Hindi. You adapt to what is happening. Aware ka sa nangyayari. Strategic leadership, Gerald?
Focuses on the aggressive way of running an association and having the capacity to outfox and outmaneuver the opposition.
Plus, yung leadership mo is may plan. May plan talaga na Okay. So, strategic leadership, yung ginagawa mo is may plano ka talaga na everything that you do is may meaning with the ultimate goal of matalo mo yung competition. Parang sa basketball, 'di ba? May maneuver may kalaban. Likewise, sa mga telenovela, makita nyo, may strategic leadership. Nasabihin ni Cardo, anong balak natin para matalo si presidente, bla bla bla, yung sinong kalaban, or si Maha Salvador, meron siyang plano to buy out the company one by one, and then lahat ng mga disgruntled people nung kalaban niya, kukunin niya to be team member niya so that they can exact revenge, diba? But in business sense, in corporate sense nga, in strategic leadership, there you have only one goal. That is to be number one and beat the competition. So, very demanding to class, strategic leadership. Kasi may deadline siyang hinahabol at hindi lang deadline. Meron silang gustong patunayan kasi may pinanghuhugutan itong mga to. So, kumbaga sa chess players to mga to. At kung mag-isip ito ng kanilang plano is very complex and advanced. Kumbaga 10 moves pa lang, alam na nila kung anong gagawin at mangyayari. And bilang team member ng leader na nag-implement ng strategic leadership, kailangan you're up to the challenge. Na competent ka sa sarili mo, motivated ka rin. Kasi kakainin ka ng buhay. Hindi mo makakayanan. Next, Osenero.
Facilitative leadership. Use various backhanded correspondence.
Okay, so may back channeling dito, class. Diba? More on kinakausap niya lahat ng stakeholders to ensure yung goal ma-achieve. So, parang Professor X, coordination. Lahat kinakausap para hindi sila mag-fail. Covered all bases. Siguro niya na everything is clockwork. Next, Villarama.
The participative leadership style. Style display a cheerful medium between over-controlling, micromanaging, and not being locked in, and has a tendency to be found in associations that should advance to strive.
Okay. So, participative. So, everybody has as a role and then everybody's involved. So, hindi siya yung katulad ng sinasabi ko kanina na binabantayan ka isa-isa, bawal magsalita, bawal ka mag-input, threat ka kasi, blah, blah, blah. So, dito, hindi, it's a welcome leadership. It's open for everyone na hop in and then let's hear what you can say, what you can do, and then let's work together as a community kung paano ba ma-achieve yung goal. Diba? Hindi siya walang lamangan, walang pasikatan. Everybody will be highlighted. Next, Christine Joy. Christine Joy. Offline pa yata yung mic niya. Vivienne. Mary Antoinette, followed by Vivienne, Mary Chris, and Precious, and Balmes. Huwag yun na yung babaeng kamay niyo.
Visionary leadership style. If you can't envision the future, you can't shape it, form it, or make it.
So, may visionary leadership styles, iba? Yung medyo futuristic siya. Not futuristic na technological. Pwede sabihin, saan mapapunta tayo? Ano ba talagang purpose natin? Ano bang objectives natin? Kumbaga sa political leadership, ano bang balak ni Yorme sa Maynila? Anong balak ni Gatchalian sa Valenzuela? Diba? Tulad niyan, ginamit ni Gatchalian yung kanyang authority. Sinamon ang NLEX kasi palpak yung RFID sa NLEX, dyan sa exit sa Valenzuela, humahaba yung pila, nag-cause ng traffic sa Valenzuela. Samantalang matagal na nilang niresolve yung traffic sa Valenzuela. Ngayon, bumabalik sa lumang panahon na sobrang traffic. So, tandaan nyo, may power ang mga LGUs over those tolls aside from na national government. So, what can they do? Penalty? Apart from penalty, they can also seize seize yung take control of the toll, that particular toll lang for their management. Kasi power of the government. Although it will be subject to Supreme Court ruling kasi nga papasok ang national government yung kanilang kontrata ng build, operate, and transfer. So, may vision si Gatchel yan kung bakit siya ginagawa yun. Kasi ayaw niya maapektuhan yung mga tao sa lugar niya na magiging domino effect. Delayed delivery of goods and services, diba? Maapektuhan yung kanilang yung COVID response nila dahil nagkukumpulan yung mga sasakyan, then yung mga tao, magiging snowball effect. So nakikita niya may mangyayari, may epekto sa amin, maapektuhan kami. So I have to act sa visionary leadership style. Coercive, yan, ito tayo yan. Can you read na, Vivian? Ugadan?
Coercive structure is hierarchical and conformity depends
Wait,
upon
class ha. Ano mo na yung pinaka-main title. Cultures na to.
organizational cultures. Coercive structure is hierarchical and conformity depends upon the imposition of sanctions for failure to conform. Utilitarian focus around the completion of the tasks which need to be undertaken.
Okay, so coercive class, sa loob ng office, may rules we have to follow. Otherwise, face the penalty. Bawal ang late, bawal ang maling uniform, bawal ang lasing, diba? Bawal ang sexual harassment, bawal ang corruption, blah, 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 so on, so forth. Diba? Utilitarian, ang culture dyan is, yun nga, kailangan i-maximize. Ano ba? Baka ba nandito? Ano ba ang bag mo? Diba yung paboritong line sa Facebook? Ano ang bag mo? So, pag tinanong ko sa job application, why should we hire you? Diba yun? Ano ba yung utility mo? Anong added value mo sa amin? Ba't ka namin kukunin? Next, Precious.
Normative, focused upon a shared vision which all members of the organizations agreed to. The structure is largely irrelevant as it is the vision which prevails.
Okay. So, may norm na kailangang sundin, class. Kailangang you are in synergy, you are aligned to the vision or yung behavior within that organization, that culture. So, normative, kailangan kang mag-comply sa, hindi ka pwedeng kakaiba, hindi ka pwedeng abnormal, makibagay ka. Tuwason?
Hierarchical, organized into lines of responsibility, reaching upwards and downwards. Functional, organized according to the function to be performed.
Okay, hierarchical. Kaya nga, meron tayong clear line of authority. Sino ang sa taas, sino ang sa baba. So, know your place ang tawagan nila. Huwag kang masyadong feeling, masyado kang social climber, sip-sip ka, panay tikit mo dito, kaya ito, kaya ngayon, palakas ka ng palakas, may naapakan ka na. So, usually sa government, kailangan sensitive ka sa kanya. May iba kasi hindi masyadong aggressive. To the point, tinaalam, gumagawa sila ng kaaway nila. Functional, di ba? Each persons in that organization, sa culture nila, has a purpose. Meron siyang dahilan ba't nandoon siya. Not only ambag, pero may dahilan ba't nandoon siya. Anong sinaserve niya? Yung janitor dyan, ano bang purpose niya? Itong isa, kahit mas taas ang kanyang job level, under siya ng isang OIC na mas mababa ang level. Pero kasi trust and confidence, kaya yung OIC ang nilagay doon. Diba? Pero ba't maintain doon yung mataas ng konti ang level? Kasi mayroon siyang function doon. Kasi either tinitrain ba siya, para later on ma-absorb niya yung management authority from the OIC, or hindi pa siya handa, hindi pa siya hinog, diba? May function, ba't nandoon siya? Next, Balmes.
Matrix has a mix of hierarchy and functionality to meet the needs of particular tasks. May have to set two may have two sets of responsibilities: functional one, area of specialization, and a task. Individual. People work largely on their own and only join together into an organization for administrative convenience.
Okay, so class, sandali lang. Masakit lang yung earphone sa tenga ko. Ayusin ko lang. Saglit class ha. Umano na yung tenga ko eh. Sumakit na.
Let's understand the need. It's a flexi.
Okay, so class, yun nga, dun sa una natin, yan yung nangyayari yung tinatawag sa government office na yung meron kang task, yung may sinumpaan kang authority, di ba, na kailangan mong gawin, pero meron din tinatawag sa huli ng kontrata na nakalagay, and all other functions may be assigned from time to time. So, paano yon? So, like for me, I'm a local assessment operations officer sa bureau. So, I do all those work related to that. Apart from that, I'm also a secretary sa data privacy and member ng technical working group ng bidding awards committee, and sa member din sa disaster risk reduction team, and doon pa sa isang local government revenue mobilization program, etc. etc. So, ang dami, kaya ang matrix eh. More than one ang ginagawa mo. Individual, usually sa private practitioner yan, tulad sa appraiser and broker. Kung sa appraiser, kung nag-outsource ka ng project from appraisal companies, di ba? And then sa broker naman, kung project selling ka, you're under SMDC. Sarili mo ang kilos mo. But the products and the support, the data that you need, materials come from SMDC, and then they're just the one doing the administrative function para ma-process yung sale mo sa client mo, and also yung commission mo. So, kulang talaga kahit kanina umaga kinapos. Mabilis lang itong power. Can you read that, Gweta?
Power and matrix is the capacity to affect organizational outcomes. That which enables A to modify the attitudes or behavior B.
Okay. So, yun yung sinasabi natin na kapag may kapangyarihan ako over you, mapipilitan ka magbago ng ugali. Either you comply, you be agitated, or yung susunod ka, di ba? Kasi may power over you eh. Sa office naman or sa leadership sa organization, di ba? Someone who has power over you, mapipilitan kang to comply sa what are the tasks being required kasi sila yung merong authority over you. So can you read that, Flores?
Nature of power. According to Bachrach and Baratz, is exercised when A participates in the making of decisions that affect B. Also exercised when A devotes his energies to creating or reinforcing social and political values and institutional practices that limit the scope of the political process to public consideration of only those issues that are comparatively innocuous to A.
Okay, class. So yun nga, yung mangyayari dito is that si A, di ba? Mangyayari is kailangan niyang mag-exert ng effort, di ba? Para teka lang, wait. Masakit ang tenga ko sandali. Masakit yung ito. Okay, saan ako? Yun nga, exercise when A participates in making decisions that affect si B. So, na-affect, di ba, kanina binanggit dito nga is mag-modify yung attitude ni B dahil kay A. Diba? Modify the attitude. Yeah. So, yun nga, si A, may gagawin siya just to make sure na lahat ng gawain ko, lahat ng decision ko, lahat ng planning ko will have an impact doon sa subordinate or kay B. Kaya nga may power ako over them. So, everything that I initiated, everything that I, yung nagkaroon siya ng inception, will eventually affect the downline, sila B. Kaya, meron siyang power over them. And hindi apektado doon si A dahil siya nga ang originating source. So, ano bang sources ng power? Tapusin lang natin itong power class. Reading nyo na lang yung iba talaga. Hindi na kayang i-push. Yes, bienvenido.
Sources of power. Legitimate power has the right to give orders which they have an obligation to obey. Reward power. Person is able to give or withhold rewards from another, then this gives the person with authority to grant those rewards power over the other.
So, yun nga, legitimate power, di ba? So, meron siyang binigyan siya ng capacity to exercise supervision over others, thus giving orders. And no choice itong mga to, kundi yung kanyang mga team members or yung staff and personnel niya, but to comply, to follow. Kasi, like, example niya, ano ba example ng legitimate power? Let's say, I'm appointee of the president, or I'm your professor, ako yung barangay kapitan, naboto. Diba? Ako ang may-ari ng kumpanya, ako nagtayo ng kumpanya. So, I have every legitimate power to do those instructions, to relay those instructions sa inyo at wala kayong choice kundi sumunod. Otherwise, you will have to leave the organization. Kung sa government, kung governance naman yan, you will have to face the consequences. The word power, yun nga, iba usually, the organization, binigyan niya ng leeway, sige, pwede ka magbigay ng mga incentives and all. So, si manager would say, oh, team, up for grabs, ganito. But in exchange for that, you have to perform this, you have to come up with the output. Or sabihin nyo, kailangan natin sa performance-based bonus natin yung ganitong dokumento. Kaya I will need your contribution para matapos natin to. Otherwise, pare-parehas tayong walang 20,000. Ganyan ganon. Next. Volunteer, hinihingal ako. Pavel.
Coercive power. Subordinate leader has the ability to impose penalties which are undesirable. Referent power depends upon the personality and charisma of the leader. People believe that the leader has characteristics which are desirable and which command respect.
Coercive power uses fear para sumunod ka. Referent power uses what? Inspiration. Naniniwala ka, susunod ka dahil you believe them and you respect them. Diba? Yun ang pinagkaiba nun. So, si President ba, ano siya? Coercive o referent? Plus, react, mabilis. Konti na lang oras natin. I'll extend hanggang 4:15 lang. Anyone?
I'd say he's coercive.
How about Yorme?
Definitely referent.
Okay. Malinaw, class, ha? Next. Tugonan.
Sources of power. Expert power. Leader has superior knowledge or expertise which is relevant to the task in hand. Information power. Similar to expert power but arises not because of particular skills but rather because of access to a particular knowledge base.
Okay. So, expert. Kaya siya may power. Dahil siya yung, like, sino ba example na may expert power? Palafox. Diba? Kaya niyang influence, i-lead, at pasunurin sa kanyang mga suggestions ang mga LGUs like Valenzuela and San Juan. Bakit? Urban planner siya eh. Tested na siya even in Singapore, Dubai, as early as 1970s pa. Isa rin siya sa proponent ng Manggahan Floodway. And then matagal na nagko-call for the canal from Parañaque to Pasay. So, may expert power siya. Information power naman, hindi lang skills class. Meron siyang access to particular set of data sets na siya lang ang meron. Like us, sa bureau namin, local government finance, we are executing oversight sa treasurer and technical assistance sa assessor ng mga LGU. So, when you need data, when we say something about or we comment something about certain local finances or property valuation for tax purposes, ang kinukuhaan, ang pinaniniwalaan, ang may authority is BLGF kasi we have information power. Kami lang may access doon sa data na yun. At kami lang kaya mag-analyze. Kami lang kaya mag-collect under the law. Mandated under RA 7160. Lastly, sige, go. Bienvenido, go.
Contingent power. Visible in an emergency where someone will assume a leadership role because of the needs of the situation.
So contingent lang, emergency power. Sino may emergency power right now? Panahon ng COVID, sinong binigyan ng ganito? Mga task force. Anyone? Anyone? Niyo kilala?
It's President ulit, sir.
Ah, medyo given na yan. Pero, task force eh. Si Mayor, sinong Mayor? Former PNP. Mayor ng Baguio. Oh, alamin niyo yung pangalan nun ha. Yung sasabihin. Basta siya. Diba? Siya yung pinaghawak ng contract tracing kasi naging effective siya doon sa Baguio. So dahil naging uncontrollable na lately on a national level, so binigyan siya ng contingent power because uh, siya yung best person for the situation. Siya yung may experience and capacity. Alam niya yung gagawin dahil nagawa niya sa kanila. Class, it's 4:15, hindi talaga kakayanin. We still have 13 slides, systems of control, yan, and strategic planning. These are, you can just read through these topics in preparation for the midterms. Again, go through everything from all of our modules. Ito lang, stop ko lang yung ano natin.